thing.
Right, let's try again. Dave, take us in.
Previously on Dark Heresy.
That was like a really cheerful Space Marine.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Brother. Cool. I like it.
Oh, I've done a thing. I've made it worse. There we go. They say that the definition of insanity is to perform the same action again and again and expect different results. And after shooting and stabbing and beating Spayr to death again, this time in the carnival, the acolytes left Canni and Seraph alone in the big top to deal with the survivors. This is not the first time the acolytes have encountered this creature, Spayr, a demon, a being of the warp, wearing the meat suit of a mortal. The first time it had been encountered, it was Lord von Morton, who had stumbled across the beast aboard the research station Pandora, where the Inquisition had been poking about at, well, all manner of things, really.
Absolutely.
Sent there to recover the black metal cylinder retrieved from Iacanthos by Cell 41, Siegfried, Gaius and Veneta had discovered the station's crew butchered and the cylinder gone, and they had battled the wicked Drukhari, the Dark Eldar. Splitting the party, Siegfried had found a heavily shielded and warded cell, within which he found the demon known as Spayr, and the demon had offered Siegfried power in exchange for its freedom, and Siegfried had wisely turned down the offer. But then,
Not so wisely.
a mistake was made. Siegfried had mocked the demon. The second time Spayr was encountered, it had arrived via a shuttle, 341 Beta Sky, a shuttle the acolytes were waiting for after it had been linked to the black orbs being smuggled onto Decilium. The shuttle had detonated as it landed, Spayr emerging from the wreckage, fleeing into the deep tunnels of the city. And the acolytes had pursued, found, and beaten Spayr in a twisted church of meat, where they also encountered their heretic Somnus Halbrel, a rogue tech priest who, it transpired later, was the brains behind the smuggling of the orbs into Decilium. What a strange coincidence! Halbrel had used the orbs to drive 5 nobles mad to the point where they took their own lives, and those 5 nobles had been all found to be connected to the rare philanthropy of this world, and to be trying to buy a mountain, upon which they intended to build an orphanage, where children of dead Imperial war heroes would be raised. This location, of course, was where Somnus Halbrel had carried out his own operation, in a deep mining facility where the black metal was being dug from the earth of Decilium. Several weeks later, when Veneta finally dispatched a team to that site, it was found almost abandoned. Only the remote puppet of another heretic, the legendary Cyric Scale, was found there, wrapping up loose ends in the wake of Halbrel's death. And then a third time the demon was encountered, Hannibal King, a man who had arrived in search of an already dead Xenos specimen, travelled into the chasm near the carnival in search of Paolo Hampton, a man who now sits in a cell in the mansion. A man responsible for the gene stealer that killed Horace the Birdman's wife, Millie. Hannibal and Seraph had found Paolo tied to the statue of a strange 4-armed creature. In the fight to secure Paolo, an unsanctioned psyker leading the strange ritual Hannibal and Seraph had interrupted had a little accident, and the warp vomited forth the demon Spayr once more, which took the body of the psyker for its new home. What are the chances, eh, of all the demons that could have emerged? It was Spayr, the thing that had once worn the suit of Seraph, just popped into reality at that moment. Had it been biding its time, waiting for the moment to strike? If so, why had it then run off into the tunnels and caves beneath the city? Why hadn't it stayed and killed Seraph and Hannibal? They would have been easy pickings. Was it not strong enough? Did it need time to gather its strength? Or was some higher power watching over Hannibal, protecting him from being slaughtered by such a powerful creature on his first outing on Desolium? Or perhaps it was Seraph who was protected, as though by some sort of armour that could not be seen by the naked eye, such as plot armour. And then the fourth time Spayr was encountered in the carnival, of course. It had cast off the flesh of the unsanctioned psyker and wore old wily McCann, a man who Canni and Seraph kind of thought of as a father figure.
Fuck.
A fag.
Fuck off.
That fight had been tougher than before. Spayr had wielded powers unlike anything that he had wielded the last time. He was strong. Stronger. But you still overwhelmed him with numbers and firepower and a fucking big stop sign. Stop! Slab had yelled. And of course Slab has faced the demon before. He had been its punching bag as Mesmeron and her team got in position to capture the Spayr-Seraph hybrid several years earlier. It seems that Spayr keeps turning up like a bad penny. But he's gone now. Right? You all read the files Zelda provided, right? The ones with detailed information on the various ways to combat and defeat demons, right?
Yeah.
Can't read.
Later,
Sorry, Tandos.
we know, later, after defeating Spayr again, this time in the carnival, Canni and Seraph returned to the mansion, slick with the blood of their friends and family. It had been a kindness, what they had done. It hadn't just been slaughter for the sake of it. No, that would be bad. That would be a terrible thing to do, to spill so much blood on the grounds where an annoyingly persistent demon had just been... what exactly? Banished? Destroyed? Killed? Whatever term you want to use. It would be bad to spill more blood there, right? It would be folly, wouldn't it? No one would be that foolish. Especially not agents of the Ordo Malleus, serving under a legitimate and highly skilled Inquisitor, because such people would have the knowledge and skills and tools to battle such creatures of the warp, and know that you don't spill more blood on the places where they were sent away. They would know how to do such things and do it right, wouldn't they? They wouldn't just be left to their own devices in a mansion made of a psi-reactive xenos substance hidden within a pocket of the Eldar webway, because that would make them... what, exactly? Radicals? Traitors? Heretics? A bunch of dickheads with no leadership, in over their heads, tangled up in a sector-sized plot that could lead to the downfall of the Imperium? No, surely not. Whatever they are now, one thing was certain. Seraph was right. Those people in the carnival were lost. Ferenus backed her up on this. He had seen this before, that vacant stare, the drooling, the whimpering. On Protassia, when Gelt had taken Seraph. The foul mind, Ferenus had called it, a gestalt consciousness that had taken hold of the people of that world and turned them to its whim. They had all been purged too. Seraph and Canni had made the right choice, to destroy the carnival folk. But perhaps the means in which they purged their loved ones, and the ease at which they carried it out, was cause for concern. And afterwards, Canni visited Pench. The doctor tended to Canni's wounds, hooked him up with some good shit, and provided further treatment for the weakness, the frailty that the pit fighter has been feeling since facing Anthraxis, the Herald. Something had gotten into him, Pench said. Some sort of disease. lung rot. Yes, that was it. It must have been from all the bone dust in the gallows way. A common ailment is lung rot for those who live in such conditions permanently. You might cough something up, Pench said. Bring me a sample when you do. Meanwhile, Silas left the carnival, and unbeknownst to the others, had the carnival's fortune teller in tow, Agnetha. She had to get away from that place, from the carnival. There was only death and ruination there, she said. And then Gaius, Venetta, Hannibal, and Seraph had taken Dr. Pench and headed to Pagny Tower, where along with Siegfried and Trantia they attended a fancy dinner for Lady Pagny's birthday. Those guys have all the fun. And Canni, Slab, and Karrell were left behind, along with the guardsmen, and of course, Spring. It is a little after 7 p.m. Karrell is currently working out in the gymnasium. Canni is heading towards the bar. Slab is sat on the stairs in the foyer, awaiting instructions from Lil Buddy. Slab, we'll start tonight with you. A few minutes ago, your little buddy Venetta left the mansion, all dolled up in a fancy dress. She wasn't alone. Gaius, Hannibal, Pench, and Seraph went with her. You weren't allowed to go. And although you know that Gaius, Hannibal, and sometimes even Seraph are capable warriors, you won't intentionally let harm come to her. Sorry, they won't intentionally let harm come to her, but it still doesn't sit well with you. You have a duty to protect your little buddy, but she keeps going off without you. There is still blood and brains on your weapon slab from the Spayr thing. And you have faced that thing before. That thing you hate. The Quisitor did something in your noggin, rooting around in there like she was searching for yeam grubs in a cabbage patch. Whatever she did made you hate the Spayr thing. You don't mind that so much. Hating things like Spayr is good, isn't it? It makes you feel strong, stronger. It helps you please Emperor. To kill such things as Spayr is good work. So why, Slab, do you not feel good? You didn't feel good last time you faced it either, because they made you want to kill the Spayr thing. But when it came time to do so, the Quisitor made you just stand there and get beaten up by the Spayr thing, while she set up her cage to capture Seraph. Because the Spayr thing had worn Seraph then. Earlier it wore someone else, and this time it wasn't put in a cage, and you weren't just told to stand there and be punched. You beat it. You beat the nasty, wicked Spayr thing. You beat it to a pulp, Slab, just like Emperor wanted. And so why, in that case, don't you feel good, Slab? I would like Slab, and this could be the best roll ever, I would like Slab to make a logic test, please.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Never mind all that, Slab. You are hungry, and you are thirsty. It's almost bedtime. You can hear laughter coming from the west wing of the mansion. You know Canni has just headed off that way. What would you like to do, Slab?
Sit on the stairs and wait.
Okay. And you wait. And you wait. I'm going to take Heresy Cam over this way. Canni. You push open the door to the snug/bar where you were heading, just in time to hear Vasquez finish some anecdote. And I tell him, it doesn't matter when he's Vitruvian, essay. The assembled guardsmen all laugh uproariously. Even Jarek, the silent naval armsman, his shoulders jerking up and down as he chuckles in silent amusement. A few days ago, this collection of former soldiers were all strangers, save, of course, for the Syrian twins and Jarek, who they vaguely knew, but you've never seen them mingle before. And now, here they all are. 2 former Brontian Longknives, a naval armsman, and 3 of King Crimson's men, former Special Forces soldiers, all getting on like a house on fire. Jeeves is behind the bar. His tuxedo looks to have been dry cleaned. The holes in his suit have been sewn up. "Hey, Canni, mate!" calls Titulos, waving a glass of amber liquid in your direction. "How's it going? You all right? You look a little pale, mate."
Yeah. Pale. Fine. I guess. Just had to kill everyone I ever loved. It's not a problem. It's the best thing we could have done.
He nods. There's a bit of a look of concern on Titulos' face, and Theranos turns in his seat to look at you as well. He says, "Yeah, we saw you had to do that, mate. So, hey, if you want to join us, we're just swapping daft old war stories, kind of a tradition. We talk about the stupid shit, the funny shit, the random shit that you've seen. We do it after a brush with death. It kind of helps lighten the mood, after losing comrades or family and all that, And then Vasquez pipes up and says, "Except we didn't lose anyone this time." Titulos goes, "Yeah, honestly, can't quite get over that. Fucker seems to get
lose
weaker."
anyone, just everyone in the carnival. Apart from that, it's a clean sheet.
Yeah, I mean, Vasquez, it's a little bit of a sore subject. They were Canni's family. Vasquez, she does briefly give you a bit of a look. And then she sort of says, a bit under her breath, "Sorry for your loss." And I'd like you to make a scrutiny test, please, Canni.
Based, I guess.
Yes, please.
Pass. 3 degrees.
You get the feeling that maybe Vasquez doesn't quite mean what she says. Maybe she's not particularly sorry. Maybe that's because she doesn't know you. Maybe she just doesn't care. Maybe she sees those people as, something that was connected to a demon and rightfully needs to be purged. But one way or the other, her words are insincere.
Okay. I'll go, it was mercy. It was mercy. I'll head to see Jeeves.
Okay. Theranos comes and stands with you at the bar. Jeeves stands there patiently waiting. He watches you as you approach. His eyes lock onto you. He's definitely paying attention to you.
Okay. Does he have anything on his head, Dave?
No.
Can I place upon his head the tricorn head?
Okay.
That's better, Jeeves.
It actually goes quite well with his slightly patched up, battle damaged tuxedo. And he looks you dead in the eye, Canni, and then he looks down at the assorted bottles and glasses before him, and then looks back at you.
I'll pick up one of the bottles.
Okay.
And I'll join the military men. I'll go and sit in Theranos' chair.
Okay.
You've heard of the 3-second rule, I assume?
Says, "Now you take the weight off your feet, Canni. You have a good sit down." He pats you on the
What do you
shoulder.
mean, wait?
Says, "Oh, no, I didn't mean nothing by it. I mean, to be honest, mate, it looks like you've lost a little bit."
Yeah. Nothing tastes as good these days.
Yeah, but to be honest, Mrs. Cooking has been slipping a bit of late. I think she's maybe run out of salt or something like that.
Yeah, must be it. So who's got a good story to cheer me up then?
I'm going to start drinking heavily.
Okay. Titulos says, "I mean, we could talk about the first time we faced Spayr, I suppose, which was somewhat worse. That's not a funny story. But yeah, he gets weaker each time we fight him, and I don't really know why." Vasquez pipes up at that, says, "Every time? How many times have you faced him?" Titulos says, "Well, for me, that's the, let me see, third time. First one was Laskin, 4 years back. It took the Quisitors, Slab, me and Fez, couple of dozen stormtroopers to bring it down. Lost 8 men that day." And then Theranos takes over and says, "Second time was here on Desilium, 3 months ago? Canni was there for that. Weren't you, Canni? Down in that weird flesh church thing."
Yeah, that's where I took the spine. That was a good day.
He says, yeah, fucking ripped a spine straight out of a heretic. Fucking incredible. Inquisitor weren't with us either that day, but we did have Von Morton's rifle. That kind of swung the balance a bit.
Yeah, I gave the spine to Vanetta as, a token of affection. That's what everyone wants, isn't it? The spine of a heretic.
Vasquez says, yeah, that's a perfectly normal way of expressing one's affection. Jarek, you can't help but notice Canni is staring at you now. And he looks a little impressed. I mean, Jarek's a man of few words, mainly because he doesn't have vocal cords. But you haven't really interacted with Jarek much, and right now he seems a bit impressed at what Theranos has said about you ripping out this spine. Vasquez pipes up again and says, so, is this normal? These fucking things getting weaker each time they come back? Ferris says, no idea. I just kill them.
Do you think there's a way of killing him permanently?
Theranos shrugs, looks at his brother. He also shrugs. Titulos looks at Jarek. Jarek shrugs.
Only we had Otto here, he'd know what to do.
Canny's going to suppress a sob.
I'd like you to make a willpower test, please, Canni.
It's not the same. We should never have taken him down there. It's too good for this world.
I mean, I don't know if good's the right word, Canni, says Theranos. But I mean,
Best of us.
but you're right. You shouldn't have gone down there. If you'd have known what you were going to face, maybe you'd have done it differently. But you can't beat yourself up over things like this. Soldiers die in war, Canni, and this is war.
He wasn't a soldier. He was just a little nerd with a broken back.
Yeah, well, he wanted to be a soldier, didn't he? All his brothers went off and joined up.
Yeah, but we should have stood our ground. Told him no. You can't go down there, Otto. You can't throw swords at people.
Titulos pipes up and says,
He wouldn't listen.
Titulos pipes up and says, the way I remember it, right? You lot persuaded him to go.
Who did that? I don't remember that.
Everyone. We had a vote on who was going on what mission, and you lot persuaded Otto to go in Siegfried's place.
I don't remember that at all.
Maybe you should lay off Pench's stuff a little bit.
Fuck off.
Just a second. Canni, time seems to slow for a moment. You see the jovial faces of the soldiers around you, raising drinks and smokes. Their mouths are wide with laughter and the eyes shining in the flickering light of the fire as they chuckle away about Otto's demise. And a thin rivulet of crimson runs down the temple of Vasquez as she slaps Theranos on the shoulder heartily, causing the trooper to spill his drink, and the thick, viscous fluid sloshes over the lip of the glass and spills to the floor, where the deep-piled rug is already sodden with the thick crimson fluid. And Titulos takes a butcher's knife and slices, cutting a piece of meat from his own bicep, and he offers it forth. Light's flesh and muscles and sinew slough from his head, revealing the bloody skull beneath, and Jarek stands, and the mechanical lower jaw yawns open as he roars in silence, and his fingers plunge into his own chest, and he pulls and tears and rips open his own ribcage, pulling out his beating heart, offers it forth for you, as Eric takes his own chain blade and revs and revs and revs and hacks off his own head. Blood spurts forth, gushing in a torrent up to the ceiling, splashing down over you all, as the laughing guardsmen and you, Canni, are drenched with thick gore. And look at it all. Isn't it glorious? And you long to drink. Drink, 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 Canni, says Titulos, waving a triple amasek at you in your face. The scene of blood and meat is gone. All is as it was, as it should be. You all right, mate? Says Titulos. You look like you went somewhere there for a minute.
Maybe you are right. Maybe I should lay off Pench's stuff.
I mean, too much of a good thing and all that.
Yeah, it's good to... All things in moderation, that's my motto.
Theranos' left eye falls out, pushed out of place by the writhing mass of maggots in his socket. I'm sorry about your friends, Canni, he says. Truly I am.
Mercy!
I know it must have been hard after Pretasia. You know, our regiment, me and Fez, we had to do a similar thing, you know, only we didn't have to do it ourselves. So I'm just saying, I kind of understand what you're going through, but also I don't entirely understand. So if you need to, like, you know, and he waves his drink at you as the left side of his face begins to rot and crumble away. He raises the drink in toast. To the lost, he says, as reality reasserts itself.
Yeah, the lost. It had to be me. Kill them. It had to be me.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, I wish I could have shown a bit of mercy to my old mates and that, but yeah, we never got the chance. You should maybe be thankful for that.
I'm going to raise my glass.
To the lost. Who will be next?
No one's going to die anytime soon, mate. We're safe as houses in here.
Canni's going to laugh with genuine mirth.
Titulos pipes up, says, hey, right, let me tell you about time, mate. I killed this fucking robot guy twice. And he does. He tells you a story of how the 54th Brontian Longknives fought a strange race of metal Xenos creatures that, when killed, didn't stay dead for very long. Meanwhile, back on the staircase, Slab, you hear footsteps behind you. And you turn and see someone coming down the stairs. Two people, in fact. One of them is Missy, the housekeeper. But the other, it takes you a few moments to recognize her.
And who is it?
Hang on. She stands about 5.5 feet tall, but the heels she wears makes her look a little taller. She wears a dress of turquoise and cream ruffles. A most impractical thing. Too many layers and fluffy rolls. It makes it difficult for her to descend the stairs, and Missy has to help her a little. And she wafts her face with a hand fan. Her face is powdered white, with crimson painted lips and vivid blue eyeshadow. Her hair is piled high on her head. Well, clearly it's not her hair. It's one of those white pump wigs that the nobility of so many worlds favour these days. Behind her, you see the portrait of Lady Antonia Mesmeron, Inquisitor Mesmeron, and you look between the portrait and this noble woman descending the stairs. For a moment, you think it's her walking towards you. The Inquisitor who left before you were reawoken. The woman who tasked you with being Spayr's beating stick and then threw you in a freezer afterwards. But then she opens her mouth and you realise it's not her at all. Oi, oi, big guy, says Spring.
Hello, Spring.
What are you doing sitting there, you big lummox?
Waiting.
Waiting for what?
Uh-huh.
Well, fuck that. Come have a drink with me and the boys.
What are you all dolled up for?
Hang on a sec. Where is she dolled up? There's a reason. I do have a reason. She says, well, little Tommy, right, he told me that he was worried him and his mum were going to get kicked out of the house. Now, there's no lady of the house here, you know, because they ain't inquackery, inequality, the thing, you know, the left hand of the impeller and all that. So I was like, right, well, we need a new lady of the house then, yeah? And V ain't here, and Trantia's probably been shot again or something, I don't know. So I was like, hang on a minute, I'm a woman, ain't I? I could be the lady of the house. And I says to Missy, I'm going to be the lady of the house, ain't I? And she says, not just like that, you ain't. And Missy butts in and says, she was wearing hot pants. She says, no, they're me cool pants. Right, so I says, okay, show me how to dress like a lady. So she drags me upstairs and makes me dress like a lady. And Missy interrupts again and says, she broke into Lady Machenko's bedroom, helped herself to some clothes, and made me do her hair and makeup. And then Spring stands there looking all proud and says, and now I'm a lady, ain't I? She gives you a wink.
You got any more of them wig thingies? I want to be a lady.
Yeah. Missy will get you one. Missy, run and get Slab a wig. I'm going to take him for a drink. Come on. And she holds out a hand to you.
I'll reach out.
She grips one of your fingers like a child, a newborn baby holding an adult's finger. And she begins to lead you towards the bar.
I'll follow her.
Okay. We'll head off that way. I'm just going to put you about there. Meanwhile. Karrell. The mansion is quiet and the emptiest it's been in quite some time. In the gymnasium / training room / shooting range, Junior Arbiter Karrell Hathard has been working up quite a sweat for the last couple of hours. A few days ago, you were a Junior Arbiter assigned to Gaius Mortalis' team, and now you're in this strange old house with all these bizarre people, and you are now a member of the Inquisition. Well, they say they're Inquisition, but you've seen no sign of an Inquisitor, just all these weirdos. You trust Gaius, you know he is loyal to the throne, but some of these other people are unusual, to say the least. 3 days.
Persons of interest.
Just a little. 3 days. 3 days in the Inquisition, and you have already faced down and survived against one of the foul denizens of the warp, and surprisingly little in the way of side effects has occurred to you. You even got in a good bash on the beast with your confiscated power mole. But that fight made you realise that you were not ready. You needed more time with the mace, and so you have been practicing these last couple of hours here in this practice chamber. And after the fight against Spayr, walking back to the mansion, Karrell had chatted with young Spring. She was a bit of an odd duck. Hyperactive, jittery, a bit uncouth. She also had a bit of a pissy smell about her, but that was probably from the utter terror of encountering the thing you all fought in the carnival. And this young woman had babbled incessantly on the way back to the mansion. Some of the things she said had been a little suggestive. But despite her nature, there is also this strange innocence to her, which makes Karrell thinks she perhaps didn't realise what she was saying. At least, not consciously. And then she had skipped off to her room to clean up after her underwear-related incident, and Karrell had gone off to clean his mace vigorously, scrubbing the head and the shaft. Pause for Johnny. But Karrell hasn't been able to stop thinking about her as he went through some of the stances and the motions taught him in basic training. Not in that way, but there is something about her, something he can't quite put his finger on. Pause for Johnny.
She's a criminal, without a doubt.
She is quite beautiful, in an unconventional way. The mohawk, which today is bright green, and the custom-painted flat gear gives her the look of some sort of ganger, which he, of course, has been trained to spot. But it's not either of those things. Her beauty, nor her obvious criminal tendencies that have caught Karrell's eye. There's something in her manner The way she carries herself, the strange confidence, the faint smile that always lurks at the corner of her mouth, the way she bites her bottom lip playfully when... No! No! Karrell is pure. His body and soul belong to his career and to the God Emperor of mankind. These thoughts should be purged, and so to the ballroom he has gone to practice with his mace. And there he has indeed worked up quite a sweat these last couple of hours. But now he tires. Perhaps it's the adrenaline of the Spayr fight finally wearing off, but Karrell realizes he is hurt, wounded in that fight, and those wounds are slowing him now. Maybe it's time to rest, or to eat. It's getting on for almost 9 p.m, Karrell. What would you like to do?
I'm going to head to the bar and try and get something to eat as well.
Lovely.
Take the hook, Johnny. Just because other Dave won't.
It was a very
Lovely.
obvious hook, so I'll take it.
Other Dave is also en route to the bar. What you missed,
Is the
Alan,
R okay? So I missed that.
what you missed was
Did
two...
you-
I herded him there. Two women coming down the stairs behind Slab. One was Missy. The other, he wasn't sure. Thought it was maybe Inquisitor Mesmeron for a moment, but it's actually Spring wearing one of Inquisitor Mesmeron's dresses and a lot of makeup and a wig. And Slab, basically because she said there is no lady of the house anymore, so Spring has decided she is the lady of the house because Venetta isn't here and neither is Trantia. She's probably off getting shot somewhere, says Spring. And so she has lured Slab to the bar, and Slab's going on the condition that there is a wig for him.
A wig.
Yes, so Missy, Spring's wearing one of those big sort of powdered pompadour
I
type
see.
wigs. She looks like, some sort of Edwardian lady or something.
She looks ridiculous.
She does, yeah, absolutely. She does look ridiculous, especially when you know it. She looks even more ridiculous when you know who she is under there.
Yeah.
Right, let me just herd you all towards the bar. Missy is not there. Karrell, you're not there yet. There's going to be a little delay before you get there. The door opens. And Canni, you turn and you see the massive form of Slab push his way in. And he's holding out his hand and grasping his index finger like a small child grabbing the finger of their parent. Is this woman that you also, for a moment, Canni, think it's Inquisitor Mesmeron. But dressed up in a much more elaborate way than you're used to seeing her. And then she speaks, and you realise, it's not. It's young Spring. She says, "Oi, everyone! Evening, lady of the house present. Stand at attention or some shit. I don't fucking know. Give me a drink. All right, Canni."
Canni's gonna. Spring's gonna cut through his malaise, and he's gonna stand up, and he's gonna give an over-exaggerated salute.
You do scrub up well, Spring.
Cheers. You
Sight for sore eyes.
She says, "Cheers, Big C. You look like you need a bath, if you don't mind me saying."
I'm gonna sniff myself and say,
Yeah, maybe next year.
You're getting a little ripe, Canni. You smell a bit like gone-off meat and socks.
Oh, well, all right. Don't mince your fucking words, will you, Spring, eh?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to mince my words? Oh, young Sir Caniston, perhaps one best pay better attention to one's personal hygiene.
All right, I'll have a fucking bath already.
Well played, Mott. Where are we? Yeah, she's wafting her face, Canni, with this hand fan. She's got this powdered white makeup, which she's slowly getting blown off with each waft of the fan. And she's got this bright crimson red lipstick. Her hair's piled up in this ridiculous wig. And she's got this like faux snooty expression. And she's trying to look down her nose at you, but she's only little, so it's not really working out too well for her. And she says... she puts on this silly voice that you've heard her do before when she's pretending to be the Inquisitor. And she says, "What's going on here? Who sanctioned this fun? I don't recall giving permission for this fun to take place in my ancestral home. Slab, did I give permission?"
No.
"See, I have not given permission." "Yes, thank you, Slab." And she says, "Now, in light of this, I will forgive this slight oversight if one of you cunts pours me a drink."
I'll just pass her the bottle.
She says, "Thank you, Sir Caniston." And she takes a big swag of the bottle and passes it back.
I'll give her an over-exaggerated bow.
My lady.
Is right. And then she looks you with looks at you quite.
Role play within a role play.
She looks at you quite seriously for a moment, Canni, and says, "And I'm sorry about all your friends and family and that, Canni. That can't be nice."
It was a mercy, Spring.
Yeah, no,
It was a mercy.
I've been there
I
before.
had to do it. I had to take the skulls.
You did what now?
Chop the heads off, didn't I? It was the cleanest, quickest way. No pain.
Yeah. Oh, I just I used a knife straight through the heart of all of them, one after another, even the little bairns. And she seems to drift off for a moment as she says this.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Does she? Presumably, she doesn't have any pockets in her dress. Does she have a bag or something, like a lady's bag?
Yeah, let's say
or-
she's got a little handbag with her. Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to move up like I'm going to give her a hug, and I'd like to try and sleight of hand all my obscure into a handbag. And when I've got in this little hug, I'm going to say,
Take this off me. It's better I don't have it, and I can't trust myself if I've got it on me.
I'm going to try and keep my voice low. And
Sir, it's doing something to my head.
Okay. I'd like all of you, the rest of you rather, to make an awareness test, please. And I'd like you to make a sleight of hand test, please, Canni.
these normally go well.
Karrell's not there yet, is he?
No, you'll be there very shortly, but you're not there at the moment. Yeah. Ooh.
Nice. I'll add a +10 to that, please, Dave.
Okay.
Just as well. Passive narcotics.
Good use of fate.
Let me just do some quick rolls for the others. Light's eyes just fell out. Again. Okay.
Move your
please, I am working on armor, so doing some web effects on just roughly done at the moment, but
Yeah. Looking good, mate.
yeah, on the back is
Showing your allegiance to the trannies.
yeah,
The fucking trannies.
Nice.
yeah. It's like chaotic chaos
Chaos spiders.
chaos spiders, man. Those chaotic spiders. Yes, I'm pleased we've changed group. It's changed faction.
Yeah. Change as good as the rest.
It is, man. After 20 years, 23 years in the Vipers.
They should have given me lammies.
Should have given me labbies. Should have given me a title. And then when I'm beasting them in battle, they'll remember why they should have done all those things.
So
Oh well.
at this point, as you do this, you slip this into Spring's bag. Karrell enters just shortly after you've slid this into her bag, and I would like everyone again, everyone this time, to make an awareness test, please.
Including Karrell.
Yep, you're just entering now.
Karrell's walking in. He's got like a towel around his neck, and just his normal sort of tank top on for training in with obviously the Imperial eagle on it.
Okay.
And he's going to bristle when he sees Karrell.
Just let's have a look.
Karrell's just going to go like that, and as he looks around this the site of and just have he's just going like this. Okay, awareness. Still terrible for an arbite.
Canni, he'll mutter his breath.
Guess we're just letting anyone in these days. scrape the bottom of the fucking barrel, why don't we?
Getting a little
I'm
hostile.
probably aware that Canny's looking in my direction, muttering something derogatory about being an arbiter. I'm used to it. I'm used to dealing with the scum of the earth, shackling them. Maybe not this one. There's maybe not shackle. Then he goes through his head like, maybe there are no shackles big enough for this one. Note to self: make custom shackles. That. Requisition order. The fat one, he knows. Is Karrell the only God-fearing servant of the Emperor in this room?
No, all the soldiers are pretty pretty loyal.
Pretty
They've all
docile.
got like Aquila tattoos and regimental tattoos and stuff like that. I think Light. Karrell probably hasn't noticed, but Light has once or twice made a couple of snidey, like jaded comments about the Imperium and the God Emperor, but he also has been seen regularly making the Aquila. So you get the impression he's just a bit jaded. But like Theranos and Titulos and that, they're pretty fucking God Emperor fearing. I'm just sending you a message, Johnny, in Roll20. Hang on.
Canni's past his stash. No, it's okay. It's a different one, isn't it, this one?
Yep.
In Roll20, yeah?
Yep. Hang on.
Wait for it.
Yeah. Okay. He's gonna raise an eyebrow.
Okay. Right. And shortly behind Karrell as well, Missy comes walking in, and she's got this this ridiculous wig in her hands. And she enters the room, and just in time for Spring
He's gonna
to
stop
say,
her.
Spring.
Do you have a permit? Do you have a permit for that wig? Just kidding. Carry on, citizen. And then he's going to carry on walking to the bar.
Spring turns round as soon as you speak, and she says, "Oh fuck! Oh my! Oh, my champion, Sir Karrell. It is good to see you, sir." And Missy immediately says, "Ahem! Ladies don't use language like that, Miss Spring." And Spring goes, "Miss Spring?" She said, "I mean, ma'am."
Greetings, my lady. Like that. He's just going to raise an eyebrow as he says it.
She smiles at you. She flutters her eyelashes at you. One of them falls off, sticks to her cheek.
He's going to he's fine. May I? Like that. He's just going to put it back onto her thing. I'll be like, "This is yours." Like that.
She blushes, and she sort of goes behind her hand fan.
He's going to fix her with a look, like one of suspicion, but of interest. Like that. And then he's going to turn to Jeeves, like, milk, straight up. Like that.
Jeeves reaches under the counter and produces a glass of milk. He doesn't pour it; it was already there.
Fantastic. He takes it.
Servitor milk.
He drinks the milk. And samples it. Is it okay?
It's
normal milk?
it's pretty good milk. Yeah, it's high quality. It's real milk.
He drinks it down in one go.
It's real milk.
Yeah,
I'm just not telling you what animal it's from.
Puts another one. Puts his hand thing on the bar. Like,
You had to go there.
thank you, thank you.
Genuine Canni milk.
He's got a serial number on him or anything like that.
No. He's Jeeves literally looks like a servant with like a Vox grill from mouth, one augmentic eye, a metal plate in his head, one mechanical hand, and his feet have been replaced by little tiny caterpillar tracks. But other than that, he looks just like any old person. And he's often seen with a tray in his hand.
Karrell's got a bit of a milk tash, and he just turns around at the bar trying to look at ease, but he's obviously an arbiter, so he's on high alert all the time. due to his training. He's just looking, scoping the room, and just even though he's got a milk tash. That's why. And then he's going to go, oh yeah, and just wipe it with a bit of his towel. That. And again, look at Spring.
Spring is constantly watching you.
What's
And
the
he's going to crack
occasion?
his knuckles.
What's the occasion, my lady?
As you ask this, Missy comes over to you, Slab, and says, "Do you think you could maybe squat down a little so I can get this on your head?"
I shall squat.
Okay, and she still has to pull up one of the chairs from one of the little tables. There is some food here as well as an assortment of bread and cheese and meats and things like that on the tables. And Missy climbs up onto this chair and she wedges this wig onto your head, Slab. And obviously your head is fucking massive compared to the wig, and it doesn't quite sit right. And she spends quite a bit of time like faffing about trying to adjust this wig, trying to get it to sit.
He's going to
beehive wig.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
Carl's going to take out his Arbeits manual and just check if there's anything illegal about wearing wigs. About an Ogren wearing a wig. Interest.
You find the section on Ogrins, and it literally just says, "Don't leave them in a dark room."
Noted. Should have closed the book for that and put it back in his pocket.
Okay, I'm just going to get a beer. Back in a sec.
I love you, Carol, mate. I love how you can slip into any character and you become them. I love the immersion. It's good to see, mate.
I like
good to see. I like Carol, mate. He's a joy to watch.
It was that Karrell.
Yeah, I was saying, Johnny. He kind of slips it. Whatever character he's playing, he kind of just slips into.
Wears him like a suit.
Wears him like a glove. But it's a joy to behold. I like his carols. Just not in character.
He's gonna ruffle his hair with a towel, but just dry it. And it's gonna be like slightly stick pointed up, but his crew cut. Just gonna ruffle his hair and then just put the towel back around his shoulder. Shoulder to go. Clean off some of the sweat.
All right. So at this point, the drinks, the food are available. Is anyone having a drink?
I've already had my milk, so.
Yeah, Canni's drinking heavily.
Okay, I'll leave this up to you, Alan, to periodically, whenever you feel like it, give me a carouse test starting at +30 and ticking back when you feel like you've had enough to drink to be deserving of another roll. Slab, what about you? Are you having a drink?
Are there any mugs?
Hello.
Just gotta grab a paint.
Approach the bar and have a look, Canni. Like how I'm like, as you please, Alan. You're just like, yes, I'm drinking all the drinks.
I'm just going to drink this bottle very quickly. In fact, on this subject, too much talking about drink. I'm going to go quickly get a drink. Be right back.
Okay. So, Slab, over at the bar where Jeeves is, there are a number of glasses and bottles and various, receptacles and drinks sat around there.
I want one of those sort of glass pint mugs that old men have in pubs.
With the little windows in.
Yeah, which is going to be far too small for an Ogren, but I'm going to hold it daintily like a posh woman holding a little bone china mug with my pinky sticking out.
Well, are you approaching the bar?
A drink. Yeah.
As you do, before you even say anything, Jeeves reaches under the table and he produces the exact drinking receptacle you're talking about, but it's scaled to your size. And it's more like a pitcher, but like, the old-fashioned pint pot. And it's perfect for the size of your hand. It's quite uncanny that Jeeves didn't even wait to be asked for anything. And he holds out this mug to you. He looks you dead in the eye as he does so as well.
I'll take it.
It appears to be some sort of ale. Jeeves maintains eye contact with you as well the whole time you're at the bar. Missy comes over to the bar as well, and she brings Spring with her. She's constantly having to try and help Spring. She's a bit unsteady in the heels. Spring walks over, and Jeeves reaches under the bar, and he produces a small fluted glass with a very pale liquid in, with bubbles bursting on the surface. And Spring looks at Jeeves and goes, "The fuck is that?" And Missy goes, "Language, Lady Spring." Spring says, "Oh, I do apologise, Jeeves. What on earth, pray tell, is within this receptacle?" Jeeves doesn't answer. And Spring says, "Oh, interesting." Takes the glass and sips it and then pulls a funny face. Like she's not quite convinced that she likes what's in the glass. Missy heads to the bar. Jeeves hands her a glass of ploin juice. No questions asked. You're free to do whatever you want at the moment.
Like to lean in, Spring, and talk as quietly as Canni can and say,
What you doing making moon eyes at that fucking pig? You lost your fucking mind?
What's a moon eye?
You know what I mean. Don't play fucking smart with me, Spring.
I mean, I ain't never been accused of
Or
playing
should
smart
I say,
before.
Lady Inquisitor?
Thank you very much, Lady Spring, if you don't mind, Sir Caniston.
Lady Spring, yeah.
I've just realised what Caniston is. It just clicked in my head. It's a thrush cream, isn't it?
"Oh, nice,
That's what I was
ideal."
talking about earlier.
I didn't. It never twigged when I came up with that earlier today. Anyway, yeah, she says, I don't know what a moon eye is. What are you talking about? And she,
Flowing your eyelashes at him.
I can't help it, Canni. They keep getting stuck together. Look.
Fucking hell.
Canni's going to brood slightly. No.
Playing us with me, Spring. He's not your type.
My type of what, Canni? I don't know what you're talking about.
Fucking hell.
Canni's going to storm off in a sulk.
Canni, make a scrutiny test as you storm off in a sulk.
Scrutiny sight.
Yes.
Fucking.
Okay, you Spring does seem, when you accuse her of these things, she does seem a little bit flustered by it. But you don't read anything else into that other than maybe, you've caught her, the young hussy, flirting with this police officer.
Reroll that one.
But she looks a little abashed after you've told her off. Oh, nice. And she takes the wig off. And the green mohawk is kind of like a bit flattened down over one side of her head. And she throws the wig on the floor. She looks a little bit upset. Looks like she's maybe on the verge of having some sort of temper tantrum or something.
Is everything all right?
While I'm at
mate?
the bar, sorry, I'll take another bottle while I was at the bar, please, Dave.
Yeah, there's plenty. There's plenty to go out.
Karrell observes it. He's like, "Is everything all right, Spring?" Citizen Spring.
She starts fanning herself and she says, "Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, yes, my champion, Lord Karrell. I'm fine. Oh, fuck this. This is fucking stupid. I'm off to get changed." And she fucking begins to teeter out of the room. Missy goes with her, putting a glass of ploin juice down. Goes to escort Spring, who's still wobbling all over the place in these heels. Slab, what are you doing as Spring and Missy leave the room?
Not much, really.
Okay.
Supping me drink. Looking dapper with my wig on.
Okay. Where's my list of things? Eric, meanwhile, is telling the story of how he once accidentally took down an enemy bomber with a heavy bolter after sneezing and spoiling his own aim. The shells, he tells the story. He's quite inebriated, Eric, as well, and he's laughing as he's telling the story about how he accidentally sprayed this enemy bomber that he didn't even know was there with a barrage of heavy bolter shells, bringing it down. And not only did he bring down the craft, he brought it down into the enemy trenches. And he says, to this day, he doesn't know how many people he killed, but he says it's the only funny story he's got after a lifetime of war. And he says it sometimes still wakes him up in the night with laughter.
I'm going to toast to that. To fortune to sneeze. Canny's now feeling the effects of the drink.
He says, sometimes... No, he doesn't speak like this. He says, sometimes I say, the God Emperor does the strangest thing. In that situation, he made me sneeze, but it was all in his name. This is what I believe.
Yeah, they say he protects. That's what they say. They all keep saying it.
Yeah, he does protect. I've seen it, but he didn't protect those assholes on Tranche. This much I know.
Yeah. Tranche, is that, got to have heard of the place.
Is it a what, sorry?
So I can't say I've heard of the place, is what I'm saying.
Oh, it's a shithole, Canni. It's a world far from here. Always at war.
Oh, yeah. So what made you leave that shithole for this shithole?
Well, we won the war.
Oh, alright.
And then we got recruited, He gives you a wink as he says that.
My old, King Crimson.
Well, no, King Crimson, he was just, excuse me, Vonas, Captain Vonas. He was just like us, one of the guys, but the man who recruited us, he is the one that brought us here.
Oh, yeah, and, who's that then?
His name was Gelt.
Gelt? You taking the fucking piss?
No, his name was Gelt, and he looks at Light and Vasquez, and they're all nodding.
What fucking sick game is this?
Kenny's going to stand up.
We've been spending our time trying to find this heretic. You say he recruited you? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Theranos and Titulos at the same time stand up, so does Jarek. And they're like, what the fuck? You guys worked for Gelt? What the fuck? And all of a sudden there's a bit of commotion. Everyone's starting to rise and yell over each other.
Karrell's going to take out a sidearm and fire it up in the air.
Ah! Oh, you know how dangerous that is in a confined space, I say?
Fucking hell. My head's nipping.
Everyone's got tinnitus. Roll for tinnitus. Just a second. Who's here? Canni. Yeah, okay. Vasquez stands up and she takes a step towards you, Karrell, holding out one hand towards you. Her hand is on her side arm, but she doesn't draw it. And she says, hey, yo, Esse, you put that down. We're all on the same side here. The woman, she knew.
What woman? Where's Gelt now?
The one in the mask. She says, the one in the mask, Seraph. We told her about it back in King Crimson's place. Everyone lower their weapons.
And he's going to draw his weapon.
No, that is the opposite of what I meant. Vasquez begins to speak very quickly. And she says to you, we came here 10 years ago. We worked for the Inquisitor Gelt. He had us doing a lot of shady shit, black ops stuff, smash and grab, taking nobles from their homes in the dead of night, kidnapping them from transportations and important dignitary visits, that sort of thing. We took them to secret locations around the city. He would spend some time with them, then we would take them back. We haven't seen the man in years. He left us here, abandoned us.
Why? Oh, did you know any of the names of these people still? Or any of the places? This isn't...
Canny's gonna start looking pained for a second as he tries to think.
Just a second.
Getting a migraine.
So the names, the names are not off the top of my head. They never told us their exact names, you know. They just told us, be here at this time. This man will be here in this place doing this thing. We have to take him, bring him in alive, don't hurt anyone, and then take him back later. The only thing I can tell you is that we kidnapped 7 people.
7.
And Eric pipes up and says, yeah, I say, one of each of the noble houses.
Oh, Karrell doesn't know this, but that rings a bell.
I'm going to
Only Otto was here.
I'm going to allow a little bit of metagaming in the fact that Karrell has probably been brought up to speed on, and so has Slab and everyone. Everyone's been brought up to speed on generally what's going on and why people are here and what's been happening.
Yeah, 7 nobles. 7 nobles. 6 of which are dead. Or is it 7 now?
No, you're thinking of something else.
Yes.
What you're thinking of now is back at the very beginning of the campaign where there was
Black Orbs.
Yeah, so that was something totally different. That was 5. There was 6 nobles. They weren't from the major houses. 5 of them were killed, driven mad by the orbs, but the 6th one, whose name escapes me at the moment, you intercepted the black orb. He never received his, so we didn't go mad. What you do know, what you would all know at this point, is that there have been for many years, many centuries, 7 noble houses on Desilium that are the ruling families, and there has been this whole thing in the past about the 8th house, which is a house that has risen to prominence. House Rosa, has risen to prominence more recently in the last sort of couple of decades. And there is some connection between House Rosa and some of the other stuff that's going on, but it's not quite clear what yet. But these are the noble families that King Crimson's men are referring to right now. They have kidnapped someone from each of the 7 noble houses, they say.
Maybe it's mind control again. It's Gelt getting his dirty fingers in everyone's mind.
At this, Vasquez says, wait, you are seeking Felroth Gelt? You think he is...
Primary mission. Kill him, the heretic. Everyone knows that.
No. He is a good man. The things he did back on Tranche, he saved so many of us.
Yeah, that's what he wants you to think.
The work he had us do here, he said it was for the good of the Imperium.
Yeah, he would say that. Can't believe his lies.
Light pipes up at that and says, I mean, to be honest, you know, he did just abandon us on this world with no hope of ever getting away.
Mesmeron told us it's our primary mission. And I trust her. I swore my oath to her.
Indeed you did. Sir Caniston. At this point, Spring reappears. She's dressed in a much more traditional way. She's still got hints of the white face powder on her face, and she hasn't quite got rid of the crimson lipstick, but she's dressed much more how you're used to seeing her in her shorts and vest. And she's got her pistols as well in her shoulder holsters. She comes in looking a bit sulky. Missy is not with her.
No chaperone.
She heads over to the bar. She's not wearing heels either. She's wearing combat boots like she normally does. She heads over to the bar. Jeeves reaches under the counter and pulls out a very complicated-looking drink with umbrellas and various strange bits and pieces floating about at the top. Spring takes it and just sips at it, looking a bit sulky still.
Is everything all right, Citizen Spring? You seem agitated.
He says, yeah, it's fine. You know, I just, sometimes I see the the ladies and that, looking all elegant and ladylike and that, and I thought, I'd have a go, but it's clearly not for me.
Well, I think it suited you in a strange way. I don't know what kind of way yet, but yeah. Be bold with fashion. It's not illegal. And then he's going to turn to Jeeves and go, and Jeeves is going to hand him some milk.
She looks at you, she flutters her eyelashes again. This time they're her own eyelashes. She says, "Oh, thanks. You really think so?"
Do what makes you happy. That is also not illegal, as long as it is in the Emperor's name.
I mean, you say that, but I mean, I'd like you to make a fellowship roll. Charm if you have it. If not, just a straight fellowship roll in this situation.
So. He probably doesn't even realise he's flirting or...
I mean, this isn't necessarily about flirting. This is more just to see how Spring responds to you. Because she does have a bit of a thing for Karrell. But she also is very aware that you're a copper and she's confused, bless her.
-2. Well, not -1.2 degrees.
Alright, it's not so bad. Noted, Dave. Right, where are we? Where's Karrell? There he is. And Spring. Yeah, this is... yeah, there would have been no modifier to that. But Spring smiles as you say this. She's got quite a nice smile as well when she actually does smile genuinely instead of the stupid grin that she normally does. She even blushes a little bit. She's like, thanks. And she sips her drink. And it's those of you that are watching might notice as well that Spring is being awfully meek around Karrell. It's not like her. She's usually a bit more boisterous, a bit livelier. And I would like everyone please to make an awareness test site-based.
Including Karrell or not Karrell?
Yeah, everyone.
Okay. Karrell's probably going to fail it because he's blissfully unaware of what's happening.
Okay, now.
He's not been trained for this. And that's fine. Yeah, he's not aware.
Okay. All right. Vasquez is still a little hung up on this this guilt thing. She says, "So let me get this straight, yeah? You guys are here to find and hunt our old boss.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if
Behind it all.
if he is here on this world, why did he abandon us 10 years ago and leave us to our own devices? You know, we have had to live like criminal scum because we can't prove we are Imperial citizens. That is why King Crimson has set up his home down in the Gallows Way."
Used you. And then when he had what he wanted, he just tossed you aside.
"Fucking told you," says Light.
That seems to be an inquisitor thing.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Vasquez and Eric share a couple of glances back and forth for a moment. And Eric says, he gets up and he crosses over to Vasquez, puts his hand on Vasquez's shoulder. And he says, "The guy used to make us do some real shady shit, you know? Is it any surprise he would just cast us adrift when our usefulness was done?" Jarek transmits to those of you with a vox speed in your ear, which is probably everyone, and you hear Jarek's mechanical voice, and he says, "The list of Felroth Gelt's crimes is almost endless, and in every situation there are people like yourselves, those used up and discarded when his work was done."
What shady shit? You said you had kidnapped some people. I mean, that's not that shady. What else have you done? What did he make you do?
Sabbat. It says,
You like to watch.
Canni, can you give me a fellowship test, please, or charm, whichever you'd rather, whichever you'd rather. It will be. Where's Canni? There he is. Vasquez seems to think quite highly of you for some reason.
Okay.
A +5.
I'll add +10 to that, Dave. You make it a straight pass.
Okay.
Beautiful.
And she tells you a story about how they used terror tactics to flush out a certain area of Desolium to scare off people. They escorted a member of the Mechanicus around this area, and he would sabotage equipment in factorums and Vox speakers, and they would use all this sabotaged equipment to make strange things happen with the technology in that part of the hive, which drove away a large portion of the populace. About 10 years ago, again, she says.
Would that potentially be the places where the illegal service plants were then set up?
Make a logic test. What's that for, Canni?
Just roll and see how bright I am.
Pretty bright with that roll.
Now, what does 10 years tie up with anything Canny's aware of? I say I'm thinking on the same line of Johnny, and also obviously House Rose as well seem to be benefiting from a load of sabotage or things going wrong, and they stepped in to do the production. I don't know if that time stacks up with the timeline, but
It does.
He just missed it. No,
It's
impossible.
It doesn't tie up with the Shattered Foundry. The Shattered Foundry was about 20. I can't remember the exact number, but it's something like 27 years ago that Alyssa was created, and the Shattered Foundry went amok. But you have heard stories of other houses benefiting from. Oh, sorry, House Rosa benefiting from other houses having production trouble.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other things that happened 10 years ago. The last time Mesmeron was here was 10 years ago, and that is when she met Seraph, and also when she first encountered Canni as a young boy.
Yeah, it's Gelt. He's been raising Rosa up, sabotaging the other houses, and he's backing Rosa somehow. It's important. He wants to make them so. I don't know why, though. All ties in, all makes sense.
It'd be a perfect base of operations hidden within a house in plain sight.
I think, when Venetta's back, we need to tell her. We need to start focusing on this House Rosa. They're up to something.
Spring pipes up at this point and says, "Here, Otto was looking into House Rosa, right? He was gathering data for Siegfried and for Gaius on House Rosa. I burst in on him, right? Because sometimes used to do that to him, thinking he might be looking at his mucky books. But he had all these files about you. And when I said, "What you doing, you dirty little pervert?" He said, "Oh, I'm researching House Rosa."
He was the best of us.
He must
he's going to weep a little bit.
He must have had them files. I mean, did he have them on him when he died, or did he? I mean, what did he know? I mean, what did he learn? What did he discover?
I don't know, I had all his stuff. I carried all his stuff back. I just dumped it in the workshop, if I remember.
You did.
Maybe it's still there. Who can read?
Who can read?
Does he have an office? Does he still have an office?
Zelda's in the office now.
Where's all his things?
Canni's gonna.
Is there a mainframe we can access to see what data he gathered?
There is a mainframe is maybe not the right word, but there is a large cogitator with a lot of storage data. There's also a lot of physical files in a librarium. The cogitator systems are also connected to the Decilium main data sphere.
I need someone to help me with the research. It could take some time.
He's gonna look around, like the whole room.
Yeah, Canni will drop his drink and he'll.
Any volunteer?
Spring says, "I'll volunteer."
Okay, Citizen Spring, you're with me. And then he's going to turn on his
Citizen
heel.
Spring. Why is that so funny?
But yeah, I'll drop my drink and head off to
Just
the
is, and
workshop
then
to
name
find.
Spring. That's all it is.
Yeah. Pardon me.
Okay, so you're off to help him as well, are you?
So I want to recover. Like I say, I had all this stuff, didn't I? So I'll know
Yeah.
where it is, and I'll go get his data pad, and then I'll pick it up and give it to someone who can actually read it.
Okay.
Wise.
Also, as you pick up this stuff and you rummage around, Canni, I think you did leave it in the workshop actually for Veneta
so.
at the time because there wasn't anyone else, wasn't there? Zelda wasn't there. And as you pull out the data slate, you find it's still there. I'd like you to make a willpower test, please, Canni. As you pick this data slate up, I mean, you can't read. But you turn it on, and there is this list of files. And suddenly, you can read. And you see the name of one of the files. And it says House Rosa. And for the briefest of moments, Canni, you see yourself sitting at a desk in a small office with a cogitator, writing with an autoquill, with very small, dainty, skinny hands. And you are writing information about House Rosa. You remember doing this, Canni, but you also know you never did this.
Not so. He's with me now. He's wanting to help me.
I'm gonna belch. Yeah, I'm gonna double click on the file really slowly. It's like Canni really struggles with a double click.
Oh,
Let's have a look. Otto is with us now. We're on the trail.
okay. And you do manage to open this file.
Excellent work, Agent Canni.
You do manage to open this file, but you can't read it.
Fuck. Otto has deserted me.
I'll go to Karrell. I'll say,
Karrell, I think we maybe need to work together this time. Maybe you can, it's this file here. Maybe you can, read it. I mean, I just never had the chance to learn. I keep meaning to, never get round to it.
Is it encrypted, Dave? Does it look encrypted?
No, it's not. It's just a plain. It's basically it's a file that contains lots of. It's a folder that contains a lot of folders or a lot of files on various things that Otto has found on House Rosa, and it will take some time to go through all of this. But it looks like it's things like archive footage from newsreels. Documents that he's got either legally or otherwise. There's a few files that are even marked with the seal of the Inquisition, suggesting they came from Mesmeron's own files. There is a hell of a lot of data here, all on this House Rosa.
Cool.
He always was the smartest one of us. He was on something.
In other words, Otto had put in a lot of groundwork on this and got a lot of data, but he'd never spent the time analysing it properly.
Yeah.
Hey, can you check out these images and see if there's anything if there's any consistency or any what's the word? Anything consistent appearing in any of these images? Like that, I'm just going to pass you the pictures, not because he doesn't think you can read, just because he doesn't want to test that theory.
yeah, Canni will assist as best he can, even though he can't really. So he'll do his best, and he'll give encouraging words from time to time.
Yeah,
Spring.
yeah, double click. You click it twice and then it goes to the next bit. Yeah, just like that. It's called a double click.
Very good. And he's gonna start looking for things on speaker like that, and then I'm just gonna click up click on a folder and then just put it on speaker, and then can we put it on a screen of some description?
Yeah, there's all
Projector.
sorts of equipment available.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a projector and start projecting stuff on the screen. Also, we're gonna get some printouts as well. I want carbon copies of these things as well, so we can start making a investigation wall.
Yeah.
Are we in the workshop? Are we?
I imagine so. That's where the files were. Yeah.
Canny's going to eye up the table that came to life once. He's just going to fix it with an evil stare.
Yeah. It seems to be behaving itself at the moment.
But he doesn't trust it.
So Spring, Canni, and Karrell have gone down. Slab, have you gone with them? Dave? Oh, we've lost Dave.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I answered. It just didn't transmit.
All right. Are you with them?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm going to move you onto the workshop map. Three, nearly 4 years, and suddenly there's a break in the case.
As soon as you got a pick on
At an after party
it's not that.
as well.
yeah, an after party
Yeah.
at a post demon slaying after party. Like that.
You remember when I said I had no idea what was going to happen tonight? I did not expect this to happen.
Divine inspiration. The Emperor's
No,
will.
Karrell. Maybe we shouldn't have killed all of our leads. Maybe we should have
Yes.
interrogated one of them.
That's that's absolutely right, Kenny. Like, first thing you don't do with your suspects is kill them. It's in the handbook. Like that.
Yeah, where were you? All this time ago, Karrell.
Probably in basic training,
Daycare.
probably in daycare. In the Empress daycare.
Okay, so you've given Canni some pictures to look at to compare. Spring and Slab can maybe be utilised as well. I mean, neither of them are the smartest, but they have other skills. Maybe they could be put to use.
Spring, stick these things onto the wall like that, and he's gonna go carefully like that, and he's gonna rummage around for some something magnetic, some magnetic clips or something like that, or something safe, and he's got some drawing pins or some safe, like some pins or some description. Put these onto the board. See if anything makes sense.
Okay.
Like
Spring is going to start creating an evidence wall.
that. Excellent.
And what about Slab?
Slab. He can hold the projector.
He can hold the thing.
If he's got no objections, Slab, hold this. Point it towards that wall.
I'll put it on the floor.
Hold it your fucking self.
Very well, Citizen Slab. Okay, he's just going to turn back to it.
Right.
Why would Gil and House Rosa to ascend? There's got to be a reason.
We need to. In basic training, they taught us to do spider diagrams. So we put Gelt on one side, we put House Rosa on the other side, and then we try and look for connections between the two.
And he's going to nod.
He's going to look for it and stuff as well. And then he's going to listen to data. Any personal notes from Otto that we can listen to.
Okay. Like I said, there's a lot of information here, a lot of files to spend some time going through.
He's going to comes in. Jeeves, recap.
Compliance.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got lots of recap.
Eves,
Miss,
give me a stim.
we need investigation food like that.
Compliance. Oh no, that was Jeeves. Sorry. Okay, so plenty of recaf, plenty of food is brought to you, and as the night wears on, you assemble this evidence wall and you start to dig around into all this information. Various there's a lot of data here, and probably not all of it is particularly worthwhile or useful.
Yeah.
But Otto is being quite thorough. He's basically brought back every single piece of information that he can on House Rosa. Perhaps there is something hidden in here that might be of use.
That's the hope.
So, on another note, you are all quite tired because you fought Spayr this evening. So you don't want to be doing this for too long, or you'll start to suffer the effects of fatigue. But you can get a good, get a good 2 or 3 hours into this tonight if you want to, without having to worry about fatigue. If you want to push on through the night and potentially suffer fatigue, that's up to you.
No. I'll do this for now. Once the walls set up and we've got like a basic start, we've got everything set up and stuff as well. I think we should rest. It's been a busy day. We need to be fresh, and we might have a better perspective in the morning.
Okay. So I would like all of you to pick a skill that you've got that you think can somehow contribute to this investigation. And even you, Slab, can do this. If you haven't got anything like inquiry or something, you can make an awareness test or anything to look at pictures and stuff like that. I don't think swim's particularly viable at this moment in time, Dave. But
inquiry.
Worth a punt.
I'm just using inquiry. Basically, I've used inquiry.
Yep. Okay.
Is it site-based awareness if looking at the Wall of Doom?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Slab. I tell you what, you can have a cook roll if you want. You can have helped make them some food out of the bits and pieces Missy brought through to potentially give them modifiers. How's that?
3.5 degrees of failure.
Yeah, so it's not the best, but you don't poison them. You just don't particularly enhance their experience. Spring is going to... What's Spring going to do? Spring's going to scrutinise the pictures, I think. Well, no, that's not right. It'd be more of an awareness test.
So Spring might be more clued up on stuff that's going on in this hive sea, just because she's obviously been in it for a long time, hasn't she?
No. She's only been here as long as you, but
right, okay.
In fact, Karrell's lived here all his life, but Spring does wander. Spring, when she hasn't been assigned something to do in Power Play, has got on her little motorbike and sidecar and just rode off into the city. And as a result of that, she has learned a lot of weird and random shit that might come into play at some point, but hasn't done yet.
Cool.
I'm just going to go for a wee, and then we'll deal with these rolls, because we've got a couple of good rolls here. Back in a sec.
Excellent. Changed from red and green to red and purple instead. So it's actually better than the red and green. I prefer it.
Okay, let's have a look. It's a shame you wasted that fucking roll of 5 on a swim roll, Dave. If you wanted to apply that to something more relevant, I wouldn't mind being a bit cheeky with that.
What a roll.
Right, so let's just check stuff. Karrell. 2.3 degrees. Pass on inquiry. I'll let that be an inquiry of the files. Canni, the awareness. Okay.
Collie. I was going to say Collie says hi, but there we go.
Hi, Collie.
Brother Dave's holding out. He's not showing us his face today.
He's
not giving us any
hiding.
Charlie.
He's
hiding in the shadows. Where Collie would like her Frenchy fix, if you'd. Well, it's better than a Charlie fix, right?
Yeah.
He's sleeping at the moment, to be honest with you, and I don't
He's
want
not.
to wake him
He's
up.
not. Yeah, he's not to be disturbed. Collie. He's sleeping. Yeah, let him up.
I shall find a picture for you instead.
Oh yeah, I do periodically send Collie pictures of Charlie. Do I?
Just a little bag of powder.
The last one, I think it's on your Facebook. It was just him looking really happy.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
happy quite often.
Collie says hi, Johnny.
Hiya, you alright?
Johnny says hi. You all right? Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm good. Not too bad. Bit tired. Early
Yeah,
start. Woke up early. On the sun.
Johnny's tired. He needs to go back into his sarcophagus.
Dude, like mum rat.
There you go. There's a picture on Discord.
Cool. I shall
No,
lay it. There we go. Oh, very photogenic.
With his one floppy ear.
All is well.
Fuck it.
Your health, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm.
Oh, shit. So I had a mental block there. I'm just making a couple of notes. All right. So we spend the next couple of hours going over all these files, Karrell, and Canni and Spring, assessing the pictures as they're being put up on the wall. Most of the information that Otto has prepared concerns the rise to power of House Rose, which has already been discussed in the past. But I don't know if Dave's heard half of that, so for his benefit, it's basically over the last almost 3 decades, this relatively minor house. So there's the 7 major houses that control Desilium, and at the top of the pile is Lady Ord Killian, who rules the roost. She's in charge. She's in charge of the entire planet. She's the planetary governor. There is these 7 major houses. Lord Eldon is one of the ruling lords. That's Lady Pagny's father. And there are minor houses. Some of the minor houses are very minor. Some are approaching the level of the major houses, but they've never quite got there, because while the wealth of all the different houses grows, the wealth of the major houses has always grown exponentially enough to keep them elevated above the minor houses in terms of financial clout. But something changed about 30 years ago. When House Rosa suddenly seemed to begin to accumulate more wealth and power quite rapidly. And most of this was the result of the failings of the other great houses. So a great house had a manufactoria problem. They weren't able to produce whatever it was that they produced in order to meet the tithe that the planet must produce in order to appease the administratum.
It was for laser batteries.
There was
Big laser batteries.
laser batteries. All the houses do different things. There's loads of focusing arrays. Even some of them are just basic food stuff, and the worm paste that is all over this planet. There's a few different things different houses produce, but all the major houses, Otto found evidence that at some point over the last 30 years, all the major houses have suffered a lull in production, and House Rosa has picked up the slack each time. And each time they've done this, they've been rewarded. They've become more financially stable, stronger economically, and they've ended up rivaling the great houses to the point that Lady Ord Killian has appointed them the 8th great house about 10 years ago. And they're still not the most powerful, but they seem to be growing more and more powerful each year. They're probably smack in the middle of the league table of those 8 powerful houses right now, and they are projected to be the most powerful great house at some point in the next decade. In addition to that, there is... Let me get this right. Yeah. So, in addition to that, there is this extra bit of information Otto's started to pick up, and he's highlighted this in red pen in various printed out documents. And he has a little handwritten note in the side of a document that says Lord Persian Hargrave. And then there is a file on Lord Persian Hargrave. And this is a man that came from off-world to Desilium just under 30 years ago and married into the House Rosa family. And there's no indication that this man was particularly wealthy in comparison to some of the great houses. He's obviously a wealthy man because he's a lord, but, not to that level of wealth. And he is married into the House Rosa family. And it appears that House Rosa's fortunes turned shortly after his marriage into this bloodline. And he married Lady Rosa, who was the head of the household. Lady Rosa died about 2 years later, but not before she bequeathed unto her husband a son. And the son's name is Lord Editon Rosa.
Didn't we meet him? Or
You
did
haven't.
The other guy?
Karrell
So
has.
the other group has, right?
Yes.
Is that the guy with
Yes.
Lord Eld? Is it?
Yeah, that was the guy that turned up with Lord Eldon. The guy that it was insinuated would be married to Lady Pagny. A merging of 2 great houses was how they described it. But you guys won't know that yet.
Yep.
Unfortunately. The metagame.
That's a really good move. Really good move by Lord Eldon, if I must say so.
It also describes Lord Persian Hargrave, this interloper, this immigrant, if one would call him, as hailing from a certain world. And it is a world that Canni has heard of before.
What was that, please, guys? Especially. Sorry, Dave. Thank you. Go on.
Right, and I'd like this is quite an obvious thing, so Spring's going to make this roll as well because Spring was there at the time. Karrell and Slab wouldn't have been, but Canni, can you make an intelligence test with a plus 30, please, to see if you just remember this detail?
Let's see. Nope.
Okay, Spring remembers. Lord Persion Hargrave of Fenxworld. And as Karrell mentions this, Spayr goes, oh, Fenxworld. I know that place. Well, I don't know it, but, I've never been there, obviously. But, I've heard of it, I've heard the words, the sounds coming out of people's mouths. That's where Siegfried and Trantia are from. Well, not really, obviously, but that's where they're pretending to come from. That's where, the fake ID, the fake persona's from, Fenxworld. And I remember Siegfried. No, I remember Inquisitor.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Yeah. I remember Inquisitor Mesmeron saying, Fenxworld, it's a place we always use. We always say we're from Fenxworld.
So it's a really obscure place.
Yeah. The Inquisition always use it as a cover.
Oh, no. How inconvenient for us this time.
I know, I've been chuckling about that for about 2 years, Johnny.
Oh, my God. Is it literally taking us this long to figure it out?
Yeah. Also, as this is going on,
That's how good we are.
you're starting to piece all this together. Spring's putting the pictures up on the walls, and Canni, you're looking at them. You're looking at all these pictures, and there's various pictures of certain public events, such as there was like an official ceremony when House Rosa was raised to the level of Great House. To much pomp and ceremony. All the other great houses had to come out and applaud them begrudgingly. And of course, all the workers of their districts had to come out and pretend that they cared. And there's also other pictures of places like, new factorums being opened, providing tens of thousands of jobs to unskilled labourers in certain rundown districts, as these new facilities were opened to take up the slack created by other noble houses' failings. And Canni notices there is a man who appears in every single one of these pictures. He's the only person that appears in every single one of these pictures. And there's also a picture of him in wedding attire marrying Lady Rosa. And it's the same guy, the guy that married Lady Rosa, this Lord Persion Hargrave from Fenxworld. He's present at the opening of all these facilities, all this ceremony that's raised House Rosa up from nothing. This same guy is always there.
Fucking gelt, isn't it?
And the funny thing about it is that Canni has seen this man's picture before in the Inquisition's most wanted file at number 1.
Fucking gelt, yeah.
And it is Inquisitor Felroth Gelt.
Okay.
Intriguing.
And
What does it mean?
what does it mean? Yeah, that's it for now. Okay.
Yeah.
Him! I'll point. Gelt! We found him!
Rough gelt.
And Karrell, as you go over and you look at this picture of this man, and you look at all the different pictures, you remember something. And you remember standing atop the battlements at the Purity Gate, fighting off the waves of undead, with Lord General Calcior Delaney, who bellowed commands and rallied the troops to help keep back the undead. And he fought with a bolt pistol until he ran out of ammunition. And then he picked up a lasgun, and you recognize this man as being Lord Calcior Delaney. And the most interesting thing about that is that you still have that man's bolt pistol on your person, because he left it behind when he ran out of ammunition. And I'm just going to pop up a handout, which Johnny has had in his inventory for some time. This is the bolt pistol of General Calcior Delaney.
Cool.
And there is an inscription on it, which is at the bottom of the picture.
Dude, fucking hell.
Where's this?
I've just popped it up.
I should really look at the hand now, shouldn't I?
It's not popped up to me, Dave. So.
Hasn't it? Oh, just a second. All players. There you go. What about now?
SA, what does that stand for?
Make an intelligence test. It would be at -20 for Karrell. Canni can make one as well, straight if he wants.
What's his intelligence?
Yep, and Slab can as well. Slab would get a +20.
SA, that's what those plebs say all the time.
Essay!
-20, isn't it, for me?
Yep. I'll do one for Spring, but she probably wouldn't know, so I'm going to give her a -20. Oof. Yeah, you're not sure. You're not sure who SA is, but yeah, it starts to make sense. He's carrying a bolt pistol with his own initials on it. It's obviously been a gift for something from someone with the initials SA. But you found him. Gelt is here. The Inquisitor was right. He's posing as Lord Rosa. He's also posing as Lord General Calcior Delaney of the whatever the fuck regiment it is here on Desolium.
He's got to be the second best actor in the galaxy, in the universe.
He helped you. He literally helped you defend the Purity Gate against the undead.
He's not such a bad.
Not
so bad.
What's going on here, guys? Is he not the baddies?
He's not the baddies.
But is
We're
he?
the baddies.
Are we? Who knows?
It's like we're blind weapons.
Oh, I've been overcome. Oh, overcome with shock.
SA, it's got to be the initials of one of the other Inquisitors, hasn't it, really? But Karrell wouldn't know that.
Okay. Yeah, you've just had a massive breakthrough. For the first time in about 4 years of the game.
Awesome. Go team.
Like I said, I wasn't sure where tonight's game was going to go. I did not expect that to happen at all. I had to dig up some old files for some information that I'd long since forgotten. There is some more information as well, which I can't find, but when I do find it, I'll give it to you in the form of a handout or something that Johnny can
Excellent.
ignore.
Wish I hadn't now.
It's all been there. It's all been there.
Oh, for goodness sake.
There's
I
all
probably would have
sorts.
figured it out if I looked at it.
There's loads of intel that I don't think you ever found half of it. But yeah, I
Do
think
you leave a lot of clues in the handout?
yeah, there's fucking loads. There's literally loads.
Is that literally where they all are?
Yeah. The thing is, there's more. If you remember when we started Power Play, Otto had he had two things to do. He was there to be a research monkey for everyone else, and he also had the mansion. And there are also clues hidden in the mansion, because the idea of the mansion is it's Alyssa who has delved into Mesmeron's files and memorized everything. But then she's developed all these defensive walls to protect herself from Mesmeron and other people. And basically Alyssa knows everything. And the idea was that Otto or anyone else that wanted to go into the labyrinth could piece things together through Alyssa. But you didn't have to. It was just one way that you could learn stuff. I was like trying to give you multiple ways to learn things. But yeah, there's loads of stuff in the handouts. If you look in the intel files as well, where are we? There's all sorts of stuff, and it's always there for you. And also, if there's ever anything missing, you can ask, and I might give you more in or out of character. But there's loads of shit. There's loads of shit in here.
I say that's the initials for another Inquisitor, probably a more important Inquisitor that I can't remember the name of.
And who knows? There might even be a clue about that somewhere in the files. And as you read more files, and also now you have Zelda. Zelda can be tasked to read files, and she will give you summaries. And when she does, extra files will be added in.
Okay, cool.
For Zelda.
You what? Sorry.
I've got a different plan for Zelda.
I bet you have. Are you going to eat her? But there's lots of stuff in there. If you look in the story folder as well, there is the story so far, which is literally every intro I've ever done for the game is all in there in chronological order. I'm not suggesting you should wade through that because it is 192 pages long at this point.
Fucking hell.
But there is a folder called Dramatis Personae, which has every single NPC that has ever been named. in it. There is also a timeline which has everything from the end of the Angevin Crusade 2,000 years ago up to the present day, and I keep that updated every time we play a session. There's all sorts in there. There may be clues, there may be things in there that you haven't spotted, because I'm a devious son of a bitch, Johnny.
I'm realising this.
Back in a sec.
You're still not going to read the handouts, though, Johnny. Don't tell me.
I'm doing it.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Well done. You've worked him over, Dave.
It's taken long enough. Finally broken him.
What's Seraph's second name? I have interest.
You're sorry?
What's Soldavan? What's
Sarah-
Soldavan's second name?
No, Soldavan is his surname. Soldavan's first name is Eustace.
Alright.
So what's the Seraph's second name?
As far as you know, Canni, and you would know because you know Canni better than pretty much anyone.
One name.
She is just Seraph. Yeah, it's it's basically a bastardization of the word for angel, isn't it? So.
Okay. We'll go to Karrell and say,
Maybe I've been hasty. Maybe you're alright after all.
Just do my duty for the Emperor.
Yeah. Duty.
"Is
And
Spring
he's
still
gonna,
nearby?"
Yeah, Spring's still in.
He's going to give Canni a nod, like an affirming nod, like,
Good work, Kenny.
that. And he's just going to call you your name, your normal name, which is a bit of a drop of protocol for him. But he's not going to say citizen Canni either, which he normally says to most people.
Spring's gonna punch you on the arm as well, Canni. Be like, "Fucking good spot, mate!" And when she punches you, it doesn't really hurt. But you look down at your arm, and for a moment, it looks like your flesh is indented with the pathetic strike of her fist, and it seems to take a long time to recover back to its normal shape.
It's
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna-
ripples.
No, it doesn't ripple.
Pretend it didn't. Pretend it didn't hurt.
It didn't hurt, by the way. It didn't. She's got a strength of like 18.
Yeah. Good think of me. Spring, you know that.
Yeah, you're smart, Kenny. You're like the smartest guy I've ever known, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
She reaches into a bag and just pulls out a small inhaler and goes. Whee!
It's a crack hailer. For all these names, I'm going to find them. Wherever the culprit is.
We need to let Vanetta know. We made a breakthrough.
I mean, yeah, she'll be back after dinner, right? I mean, she's probably having a great time. You know, they're probably dancing and having a drink and some nice food and all that. I bet they're having a great
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, why didn't she ask me to come?
Can we try and contact them?
Yeah,
You can, yeah.
Let's do it. It's important. She needs to know straight away. She'll want
Yeah.
to know. Alyssa.
Hello, Canni.
Hi, Alyssa. How's it hanging?
It's hanging quite splendidly, Canni. What is it I can do for you today? Would you like to play a game?
Yeah. What kind of game?
Oh, what do you fancy? My favourite's hide and seek.
Oh, well. Yeah. No, yeah, in a minute. What about, can you get us through to Vanetta? And then we'll play hide and seek.
I can certainly try. One moment, please. Connecting.
Hurry up, love.
Connecting. Would you like to play a game while we wait?
Yeah.
Could it stand for that essay? Potentially stand for Staven Arcturus.
Ooh.
Inquisitor Staven Arcturus.
Yes, Mesmeran's master,
Eh.
and rumoured to be lover.
And mind control.
Rumoured to be. And for many years up until his accident. What accident? We need to look. Right. We need to. Right. This is why I should read handouts. So
Mesmeron,
I wanna look
one thing you've probably heard at some point, Mesmeron blames Gelt for Staven Arcturos's death.
This isn't even an inquisitorial thing. This is a fucking personal vendetta, or it was a personal vendetta all along. So she was a heretic.
The revelations! They're coming thick and fast!
Inquisitorial powers to pursue a vendetta. All this time.
Are we the baddies, Karrell?
No. I believe the baddie is no more. Like that. And he's just going to click.
Oh, no, you don't know anything about Mesmeron being dead.
No.
No.
I was going to say, click and a picture of Mesmeron is just going to materialise. Right. And then it's going to go, deceased. He was the baddie.
But I swore an oath.
An oath to a heretic is easily rescinded.
Spring is going to pipe up at this point and go, no, hang on a minute, right? I mean, Mez's, she was good. I mean, she was good to you, Canni. You know, she helped you out. She gave you a new job. She's paid you well and that, hasn't she? She's given you a good life.
You get paid?
I mean, not yet, but I mean, she did say it was going to be good pay.
The lies.
Yeah, no.
The lies of the press gang. Inquisitorial press gang.
I swore an oath, Spring. Counts for something.
It fucking no. It don't count for nothing, Canni. You know, you should only do things for people you like, unless they're paying you really well.
I'm not an oath breaker.
Oh my goodness me! So we have been wasting our time pursuing a personal vendetta on behalf of Mesmer. And that would be a way she would have got close potentially to. She knew it. She knew all along. She must have known all along. She must have done, unless she's that stupid, or she was that stupid. Mesmer was. She must have known something that we don't. She knew it all.
Still doesn't explain why Gelt's after Rosa.
Gelt is Rosa.
He is now.
Yeah. He is now. The Changeling. Changeling. Oh my goodness me! I can't believe we've spent all this time pursuing a personal vendetta for Mesmeron. This is unbelievable.
We shouldn't have killed all those leads, Karrell. It was a mistake.
They might have told us what to do. What we were doing wrong.
What if Gaius has been working against us? What if he's been sabotaging our? What if he's in league?
What if he knew all along?
Maybe that's why he killed all the leads.
Wait, Canni? No. I mean, Gaius, he's like. I mean, I know he's a copper and all that, but I mean, he's all right, isn't he? Yeah.
We can't trust anyone. We can't trust Mesmeron. Can't trust anyone.
Oh, I'm gonna look through this. I think I might actually do my own spider diagram and investigate this fully.
What if he's a heretic? That's why he's killed all our leads. He's been sabotaging us from the start. It all ties up. It all makes sense.
Alyssa bursts into your comm, Canni, says, I'm sorry, Canni. I'm currently unable to contact Miss Venetta. There appears to be a problem with the line.
All right. Oh, well, keep trying. But shall we play a game first, though?
Hello, Canni. Would you like to play a game?
Should I click to resolve the issue like you do on when something pops up on you?
Press here to fix. Was this helpful? No!
Didn't have a clue what happened.
Yeah,
the game option, doesn't it, as well?
Let's play a game, hide and seek. Just like you wanted, Alyssa.
We
don't make enough time for you, do we? We neglect you, don't we, Alyssa? But you're one of us.
Yes. I'm one of you. Would you like to play a game?
Yeah, I would.
Would you like to play a game? Would you like to play a game?
Yeah, I already said I would.
Okay. I'll count to 10. Would you like to play a game?
And he's going to look at Spring.
Spring looks back at you. Like, I mean, Alyssa's a little weird, but this is a bit unusual.
I'm gonna turn my comm bead off. The fuck's going on?
The rest of you, Karrell and Slab, you can still hear Alyssa repeatedly asking, would you like to play a game? And from time to time, she slurs, she stutters, she seems to be becoming confused. And after about 30 or 40 seconds of this, she gives the good old-fashioned, would you like to play a game? And goes quiet.
You broke it.
What bad feeling about this?
Spring's wild-eyed. She looks wired as fuck. She's obviously taken something, and she's jittery and excited. She says, "This is like amazing. We've been like proper Inquisitions, haven't we? Like, you know, for the Impeller. Hey!"
Yeah, and it's because Gaius isn't here. That's the key.
You think?
Good work, Spring.
I think he's been sabotaging us from the start.
Do you think he's?
Old-fashioned police work.
Do you think Gaius is a baddie, Kenny? Do you think he's been working against us?
Yeah, I think he's been working for, I don't know, Gelt or Mesmeron or I haven't thought it through yet, but I'm just
Perhaps we should take a break, rest.
What about Alyssa?
We could maybe get her run a diagnostic, but she usually does that, doesn't she?
Who could do
God,
that
well, I
though?
know.
I've got a
The
comm
chain
thread in the building.
We need somebody techie.
Yeah.
And then all-
There is Ted.
Oh, there's also Zelda. Again.
Yeah.
I'll try Ted.
Ted, me old mucker, me old pal. We haven't forgotten about you. You valued member of the team.
Hey! I thought you'd all forgotten about me. I've been in the library for weeks, researching away, just reading books. Hey, Ock.
Would you? I think Alyssa might be fucked. Could you do a scan or something?
Aye, I can run a few diagnostics, but I mean, it's not really my area of expertise, you know, heretical, abominable intelligence. It's not really my thing, but I mean, I can maybe have a quick dabble.
What about Zelda?
I mean, I can run one on her too, if you like.
Oh, yes, you wee shite.
Oh, no, I see what you mean.
Comes into Zelda.
Zelda. It's Alyssa. She's gone rogue.
Oh, there seems to be a problem with the evil, wicked intelligence at the heart of this abominable house, does there, Agent Canni? How peculiar. I could never have seen that coming. And how may I be of assistance?
Now's not the time for jokes, Zelda.
Oh, no, I don't joke, Agent Canni. Believe me.
You're walking on thin ice, Zelda.
So what exactly is it you want from me, Agent Canni?
Find out what the fuck's going on. What's wrong with her?
Of course, I'll add it to my list of tasks and attach a broom to my anus and sweep up as I go.
Do it now.
Carol's going to comes in. This is all about Carol. Make that your top priority.
Of course, absolutely. I mean, I haven't slept in 3 days, but as you wish.
Fucking
When it comes into Jeeves.
recap for Zelda. Stat.
Compliance.
Let's head over. Let's.
Pensions, we haven't got pets anymore, have we? Can we send one of the medical servitors with some stims for?
We don't have a medical servitor. All we have is Dr. Pench, who isn't here.
I'm gonna march down to the med bay and see if I can please with some stims. Against those stims.
I'll follow Carol.
All right. What about you, Slab? What are you doing?
Staying here.
Okay. Oh.
Just gonna.
Ring, go and check on Zelda, would you?
All right. Just check something. Spring says, "Yep, rightio, Big C." And Spring is going to reach out for your finger again, Slab.
Mm-hmm.
Grab your finger and go, "Come on, big guy!"
I'll follow her.
And she starts leading you away upstairs. You're all going upstairs, as a matter of fact, into the main room, the main floor, sorry, of the mansion. And I'll put you somewhere around here. So Canni and Karrell, you end up in the med bay, right?
Yeah.
Which you should be able to see on the screen right now. And Slab and Spring end up in Zelda's office. Spring does not knock, Slab. She just opens the door, and as you go in, there is Zelda, and she looks exhausted, Zelda. She's got big bags under her eyes. Her desk is piled high with data slates and files and folders. There is documentation all over the place, and she's constantly flicking through it. Occasionally, she picks up a data slate off her lap, makes a few notes, maybe takes a picture, maybe plugs in a data wafer and uploads some data onto this. And she is frantic. She's frantically researching all this crazy amount of information she has. And Spring, I forgot why you sent her here.
I wanted some time alone with Karrell, that's why I sent her off.
All right, okay. Spring's going to just walk in and go, "All right, Esmeralda." And Zelda gives it the that's not my name, as well, you know, Miss Spring. And Spring goes, "Yeah. Anyway, so I've been sent to check up on you. What the fuck you doing? What's all this shit? This looks like nonsense. Slab, does this look like nonsense to you?"
Yeah.
And what do we do with nonsense, Slab?
Ignore it.
Exactly. So we're going to ignore everything you're doing right now, and we're going to say, why the fuck aren't you trying to help Canni out with Alyssa like he's demanded, like he's ordered you to? And Zelda holds up a data slate and says, "I'm currently trying to learn the basics of rudimentary techniques for understanding and programming simple robotic systems in the hope that in the future I'll be able to apply that knowledge to the abominable intelligence systems. But currently, I mean, it's a little bit beyond my remit, but give me a year or 4 and I'll get there." She carries on reading. And Zelda, Spring just goes, "Yeah, right." Looks at you, Slab, like, what does that mean? He says, "Well, we're going to keep watch over you while you're doing it. Need anything to help? Do you want some of these pills I've got?" And she puts a few pills on Zelda's counter. Says, "They'll help you focus." And Zelda takes the pills. And Zelda not only takes the pills, but Zelda takes the pills and washes them down with recaf. Spring smiles. "Yeah, that's the stuff, ain't it, girl?" Canni and Karrell, you're in the med bay.
Stims. Do you know where the good doctor keeps the stims?
Oh, yeah, of course I do.
You know,
Lead the way.
you know quite a lot about where the doctor keeps various shit in here, Canni. You would know straight away without any rolls where he keeps the basic med stuff, the stims and the med packs and stuff like that. You also know where he keeps his private stash.
Look, Karrell, we haven't got much time. Maybe I was wrong about you. Look, if anything were to happen to me, maybe you and Spring, maybe she deserves to be happy. You've got to look after her. If I'm not there to protect her, Karrell, you've got to do it.
Look after
Spring.
who?
Spring.
Spring? That is going to act because he's not sure of what you mean.
She's obsessed with you. Are you really that naive?
I'm trained to be.
Look, promise me. Swear to me your oath that you'll protect her.
On my honor as an Arbite, I will do my utmost to protect her. That and the Imperium.
Okay. Canni seems satisfied by the oath.
Okay.
And he's going to hold out his hand.
Okay. I shall take Karrell's hand.
You're right, Karrell. We would have never made this breakthrough if it wasn't for you.
He's like a better Otto.
I was
It's
hasty
it's
before. For a cop, you're all right.
just trying to do my duty, Kenny.
Yeah.
Just trying to further the work.
Yeah,
And you
you're
should give yourself more
duty.
credit. I see you have the qualities of a great leader in you. Something that perhaps hasn't been recognized before. Have faith in yourself as your faith in the God Emperor of mankind. And he's going to clap you on the shoulder when he says that. You know what I mean? Even though you're a bit taller.
Canni's going to look sad for a moment. He's going to say,
I'm done for, Karrell. Done for. It's got to be you. You got to protect her. I won't be there to protect her.
Is everything all right, Canni?
No.
What is it?
It's not all right. It's getting worse, Karrell. Spayr, we haven't even... He'll be back. Again and again, and we're back. We haven't killed him. We haven't done nothing.
Such as the
It's a
nature
waste of time.
It's never a waste of time defending the Imperium, Canni. Always remember that.
Oh, we
They
just
can keep coming
killing.
back, but we can keep defeating them. We are the light against the darkness.
Every time we
You-
kill a demon, another one pops up, Karrell.
It's the nature of what we do, according to the handbook. And he's gonna take out the Inquisitorial handbook and just be like,
Rule 3.
and then he's just gonna put it back into it's rule 3. He's gonna open it up. Rule 3. It's the nature of what we do. And he's gonna close the book and then put it back in his pocket.
Canni he'll say,
You'll keep your oath.
and then
I swear it.
he'll wander off to where the stems are.
Here, look.
I'll get something
Excellent.
myself as well, I think.
Okay, so
I'll
you
jab,
can all,
I'll jab one in me immediately, try and take the effect of the booze off.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see the infirmary stock. Most of the drugs on there, Canni knows where they all are.
Cool.
That is a mixture of the public stock and Pench's private stuff. So the Obscura, the Night Dusk, the Golden Torquay wine, and the Verita is all hidden away, but Canni knows where it's kept. Everything else is more medical. Scraper Ripper is like an agility buff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna steal from his private stash, and I'm not gonna tell Karrell where it is. So
Okay.
No.
just Pench is a mate.
This isn't a bust. This is part of the.
Yeah, the stims. The stims are perfectly legitimate.
Huh?
Medical drugs. They're not
Yeah,
narcotics.
I'll take a stem straight away, Dave, because I'm still under the effects of the booze. So.
Okay, so you're taking one stim. How many others are you taking from the inventory, just for my benefits? So what?
How
we
many?
got?
I can't see. I don't know where the handout is, Dave. I know it's in here somewhere.
fucking hell, I've
Resources,
given
is
you
it? No, I found it. It's all right. Mansion resources. So we've got materials. There's 2 good quality stims, and then there's quite a few in the.
Can you see it, Johnny?
Yes, I've got it.
Yeah. Have you got it, Dave?
Yeah.
Has it popped it? Yeah. Okay. And anyone, by the way, can come in here and help themselves to this shit at any time.
Cool. I'll just take a couple of good quality stims then.
Okay. Is that excluding the one you've taken right now?
I'll say I'll take one, and I'll take one for spare. So
All right.
I won't.
Karrell?
Okay. I'll take a pack of IO sticks.
Carol's we've got what we're
Light
going
one
for. He's going to leave it all. He's not going to take anything extra.
Okay.
So he doesn't smoke. He's not a smoker. Carol is.
All right. Just adjust that. There we go. Well, actually, no. If I do that,
You're on mute, Al.
Yeah, it's safer that way. So, let's go see Zelda. I feel you've put my mind at rest, Karrell. I
It's
take
going to
back
be all right.
what I said about you.
It's going to be all right, citizen. Like that. He's just going to.
Yeah. For you and Spring, it's going to be all right.
He's going to start coughing.
Okay. Do you remember? Sorry, this is a bit meta-y, but as well as do you remember Pench's request?
I remember Pench's request. What's Pench? Oh yeah, if I cough something, put it in this jar that I got. So
Yeah, you haven't coughed anything up yet. I'll tell you when you do, if you do.
Yeah.
when I do,
You'll-
yeah. Thanks, Dave.
You'll know.
You'll know. You'll know. You'll know when you know. The jar won't be
Your
sufficient.
A maggoty lung.
Oh no,
Oh,
no.
right.
I've been preparing for this for quite some time as well. But spoiler alert. Anyway, yes, you're off to see Zelda, are you? So Zelda's office is right near the med bay. It's just here, around the corner. And as you walk in, Spring and Slab are in here as well. Zelda is furiously compiling data. Spring's trying to do her best serious glare. As you enter, Zelda says, "Ha! Lovely, Agent Karrell and Agent Hathard. How delightful. Please bring your unenviable aroma into my very small, cramped office. If you don't mind, I am rather busy. I'm trying to learn how to carry out the commands you've issued to me."
He's
I'll have a bath later.
Karrell's going to sniff his pits and go,
Yeah, it is a little bit you, but mostly the smell seems to be coming from Canni.
I'm gonna take my leave. We'll give her the stims and
What are you doing, Zelda? It's simple, right? Find out what's wrong with Alyssa. Easy.
Yes, I'm sure it is for someone with the sufficient skills and knowledge. Unfortunately, I don't have them. But if you give me time, I am a compulsive learner. I'll learn how to analyze her data stacks. Her cogitator core is buried somewhere deep within the mansion. I'm not entirely sure where. Miss Vanetta might know that better. But I don't need to know that. Once I've understood the basic principles of analyzing her algorithms and her mental structure. The two phrases really don't gel for me, but I will endeavour to figure out what is wrong with her. I estimate if I pull all-nighters from now until completion, 2, maybe 3 years before I'm ready to perform that task.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell, Zelda. What fucking use are you?
No,
You are skating on thin ice. You're a fucking liability.
No, please.
Canny's eyes are going to start to go really fucking. He's going to just like violence in them.
No, please, Agent Canni, I can do it. I just need more time.
No,
Please.
no, don't fucking waste your time, Zelda. For fuck's sake, you're fucking useless. Who can do this job? Who's got the skills?
I imagine.
Otto, where are you when we need you?
I mean, I never met Otto, but I imagine Miss Calamere is probably the best bet for this. I don't know.
Yeah, but we can't get hold of her.
I know, and it is a problem. But I have been, this isn't really my sort of thing, but I have been playing around with the Vox equipment, the external Vox equipment that's piped into the main hive structure of Desilium, and I believe that the problem may not result with Miss Alyssa.
Right, well, what do you think it is?
I think we are no longer connected to the Vox system of Hive Desilium.
How? Who could do that? But why?
Well, I mean, I could. I would know how to disconnect us, but I assure you I have not. And pretty much anyone with some basic knowledge of technology could, in theory, the equipment I believe that connects us to the hive is in the basement near Miss Vanetta's workshop. But of course, if someone were to discover our location, it is possible that they could cut us off externally, but they would have to have extensive knowledge, not only of our presence, but also of our unusual systems here in the mansion. You know, they're not entirely Imperial technology. It's quite fascinating, really.
The fucking setup! Well, Zelda, look, can you try and reconnect us?
Oh, I mean, I can have a go. I've probably got much more chance of doing that than diagnosing Miss Alyssa.
Yeah, fuck that off.
I'll go and have a look right now. Maybe Ted can help me. He's a bit of a dab hand with a spanner.
Yeah, Ted will help you.
Okay. And she gets up from behind the desk and says, I'll be right back. This will, of course, put a delay on all my other work. I hope you understand that.
Do as you're told,
Yes,
Zelda.
absolutely. Just so we're clear. And she goes off, still muttering excuses as she scampers off down the corridor, switching to the Vox and calling for Ted, leaving the four of you alone in her office.
She's gonna have a nasty accident one of these days.
Karrell looks away, just turns a blind eye to that comment. He's just, we've bonded over evidence, and he's starting to turn a blind eye to things now. He's starting to realise that this is an unorthodox place.
The slippery slope.
With an unorthodox rules.
That's
So
how
he
it begins.
sticks to his Arbeit handbook, to an extent. It should be okay.
Okay.
But yeah, that's good work. Like, I'm going to take my leave. Thank you all. Great effort tonight. Securing a major breakthrough. He's going to look at each of you. The Emperor protects and the Emperor guides, like that. He's going to make the sign of the Aquila.
Spring just waves it and goes, Impeller Rex!
Yeah.
And he's going to repeat back it.
Could use some protection.
Right. He's going to turn. And he's going to nod at everybody, and then he's going to walk out.
Spring just stares long after Karrell leaves the room. Stares for a long time at the door, and then she turns to Canni eventually and goes, he's great, isn't he?
Yeah, he's all right, Spring. You could do worse.
What?
You could do a lot worse.
What do you mean?
No, just forget I said anything, Spring. Just forget about it. I'm tired.
What do you mean, do?
No, just forget it.
I'm off to bed.
Forget it, Spring.
She leaves. And then she stops in the doorway and she turns to Slab. She says, big guy. You still kipping down in the basement in that cold bit where V sleeps? I mean, we could just drag a mattress up and you can keep in my room or one of the other rooms. There's plenty of rooms if you'd like a proper room.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't sleep in the same room as Vanetta Slab. Give her a bit of fucking privacy.
Canni's getting jealous of all the ladies.
He's a protector. That's why he's a protector at heart.
He's just jealous.
All right.
Yeah, it's not complicated, Johnny.
He's just jealous.
He's just jealous, that's all there is.
Just a jealous guy.
Right, let me just check the upstairs situation.
Right back.
I must admit, at this point, I'm still wearing my wig.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Haven't you got a mohawk shower cap as well?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Special issue Ogren shower cap.
It's his swimming cap.
Cool.
Right, so upstairs there are a number of rooms for the acolytes. There are 4 main rooms for Siegfried, Gaius, Hannibal, and Canni. There are also smaller rooms where all the NPCs hang out, including Ted and Karrell. And Spring is one of them. So Spring leads you upstairs, Slab, onto the second floor. There is her room, which she would be willing to drag a mattress into for you to sleep on the floor. There are also 3 small chambers that you could make one your home if you wanted. So I'm going to put you onto that map. This might seem like trivial micromanagement, but it's not. So I'll put you on the map. Where is... Slab. Right, so... Can you see the map now? Probably not, because there's no
I
vision
can
on
see
your
some
character.
black.
How about that?
I see a corridor.
Right, okay, so I'm going to move you about. All these doors here are basically various acolytes' rooms, with the exception of this one here, which is a bathroom. This one here, which is a kind of dining room / pool room. This is Spring's room. All the other rooms are taken. with the exception of these rooms down here, where I've put you now. There is no light in there, which is silly.
Right, guys, I'm gonna head off now.
Oh,
Okay.
Johnny, it's just about to get good.
I know. But it has just got good.
It's just about to get really good.
I know. I'm gonna have to go. All right. It's been a pleasure, guys. Glad we
Been
can make
fun
this
tonight.
break. Glad we
Always
can
a
make
pleasure,
this breakthrough together. That was great. It's been fun. It's been emotional. Good night, guys.
See you later, mate.
It's like a better Otto. Ah, dear.
Right, let me. Yeah, I've got a little something left in the tank for Canni before we call it a night without Johnny. But yeah, so Slab, where do you want to be? Do you want to be in Spring's room or do you want to take one of the empty rooms?
No, we're going Spring's room.
That does change potentially things later. So put you in there. Right. I do have an icon for a mattress somewhere, but I can't find it. That's not important. So there'll be like a pile of. Oh, here we go. There we go. A big dirty mattress just for Slab.
No way.
Dragged in from somewhere, probably by Jeeves. Somewhere around there. Put it on the map. Lovely. And Canni, your room is down here.
I can't see any of this floor, Dave. It's
You
all
will be
black
able to
me.
in a minute. Second.
I can see my token, but that's it.
Yeah, second. You haven't got any vision. There we go. Oh, now you've got night vision that you shouldn't have. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, so that's your room. Today has been a good day. A demon has been defeated, its foul presence cleansed from the blessed God Emperor's domain. No casualties, save for a couple of dozen Canni dwellers culled in the aftermath. Their blood soaking into the dust covering the big top arena floor, where who knows how many have lost their lives over the years. For over a decade, Canni has been the champion of that arena, and after his departure a few months ago, Seraph, a woman who, like Canni, was raised in this place, took over for a month or so, taking on all comers in big stake prize fights, and then Slab, too, for a brief time. And so how perfect it was then that the last big stakes fight in this place featured these three champions facing off together against their greatest foe, the demon Spayr. A creature brought forth into this world by the arch-heretic Felroth-Gelt, bound within Seraph, turned on the innocence of Laskin, captured by Mesmeron, exorcised and thrust into another meat suit, imprisoned on Pandora for who knows what nefarious purposes, then sent here to Desolium for, again, who knows what purposes, by Inquisitor Globus Verac, if the evidence is to be believed. And the destruction of Spayr that first time in the Church of Flesh, in the deep tunnels of Desolium, had a profound effect on Seraph. She had begun to remember things like Mesmeron promising her that Seraph was destroyed. Returning to the mansion, those two women, Seraph and Inquisitor Mesmeron, former lovers, you learned, had argued. Liar, deceiver, Seraph had called her. Mesmeron claimed to not know what the girl was talking about. And then something weird happened. Seraph had struck Mesmeron, but Gladstock had intercepted the blow, moving with lightning speed, hurling the dancer assassin aside. And Seraph's mask literally slipped. And that was the first time any of you saw that mark upon her once perfect porcelain features, the 8-pointed star branded into her flesh. And she fled the mansion. Mesmeron had begun to explain to those of you present that Seraph's outburst was not entirely her fault. She told you how they met down here in the carnival a decade ago, how she had trained and weaponized Seraph, mind-wiped her, the grief she felt, the shame she felt at what she had done to the girl. You know, and that grief and shame had grown when Gelt then captured Seraph and did what he did to her, using her as a vessel for his pet demon Spayr. And afterwards, after the exorcism that came after that, Seraph never remembered much until now. But now she remembered what Mesmeron had done to her, what Gelt had done to her too, and more importantly, what Spayr had done to her. My pretties. And when Gladstock informed Mesmeron that Seraph had fled, cutting out her tracker and departing for who knows where, the Inquisitor had flown into a rage, unleashed a wave of psychic energy that ruined her own office. And several days later, after Gaius' Sin-Eater ritual, the Inquisitor summoned you all to a briefing. And she began to tell you all the real reason you were on Desilium, and Gladstock had interrupted her. He had asked her questions. You were here to track the black metal, right? Not to find Seraph, not to worry about this mysterious real reason. I mean, what do you mean a real reason, Antonia? Gladstock had asked. And then Gladstock had asked a very awkward question of the Inquisitor. How did you know to come here? How did you know the black metal was here? When did you first learn of the black metal, Antonia? And the Inquisitor had grown confused and begun to contradict herself. And she mentioned a man named Staven Actoros, and a man named Gelt, and a man named Varak, and Desilium. And she talked about something happening 10 years ago, and then she collapsed. The brain scans that Pench performed on the comatose Mesmeron later indicated heightened activity in the Inquisitor's hippocampus, the part of the brain where memory is stored. And Pench speculated she was remembering things. Pench, yes. A man who lives in a constant state of inebriated fear, an expert in pharmacology, a skilled surgeon, but he had been unable somehow to awaken Antonia Mesmeron, Machenko, whatever her name was. But Jeeves, a simple servitor, he had mixed a cocktail of chemicals and awoken the Inquisitor after locking the door to the medbay and preventing any of you from entering, to prevent it. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Jeeves was being piloted, wielded like a tool by the presence that lurks within the mansion, Alyssa. She brought the Inquisitor out of her fugue state, and shortly after, the Inquisitor announced her plan to leave the mansion, to return to Scintilla on this reckless endeavour of hers, to get some answers from the man she believed was manipulating her, Inquisitor Varak. And she left you here in this place with Alyssa, and they came to arrangements, apparently, the Inquisitor and the heretical abominable intelligence. The spirit of the girl would be allowed to remain in the mansion, but she was forbidden from interfering with the mansion. She was not allowed to open doors or turn off the power and defence network like she did that night when Lord Eldon's men found their way inside. Lord Eldon, Alyssa's father. Yeah, surely a coincidence. Since the Inquisitor left, you have been leaderless. Gladstock was unreliable. He didn't trust himself. He locked himself away. His personality and physicality seemed fluid and changeable. He is possibly a threat. He is secure now in the basement. Yes, I'm sure he is. And you are safe from him and from your enemies in this place. This mansion, this construct, this place made of Xenos wraithbone, shaped and styled by the psychic will of its master. The woman whose consciousness gives it form from her memory. Antonia Machenko, the last of her bloodline, dies on the floor of Inquisitor Globus Varak's office in this moment. Fuck, says Inquisitor Globus Verac. The Ordo Hereticus' most celebrated Inquisitor, favoured of Lord Caden, a man known for his intellect, his scheming, his cunning, his remarkable skill in the game of strategy known as regicide. It is said that he is undefeated in this game, and only one man has ever come close to beating him at that ancient sport. Her skull crushed, Antonia Machenko is no more. Her brain ruined, her memory lost, her connection to the warp severed. The last Machenko is gone, and the ancestral home, what will become of it? Who will inherit that place? The last Machenko. And far from here and there, a young woman peers into the darkness of an alcove of stone inscribed with runes and wards of protection. Her short hair, growing back from shaven to the scalp, is white blonde, like the others of her order. She has her mother's cheekbones and the shocking blue eyes, but her father's dark chestnut skin. "What have you found?" asks the man in the naval uniform. "Nothing," says the young woman. She stows the hip flask she sips from, a gift from the man in the wide-brimmed hat. "There's nothing here." She pushes past the effeminate man in the modified naval uniform. He peers into the dark chamber, shrugs and heads off after his companion. "Well, this was a delightful waste of time," he says. "Claudette will be pleased." The woman stumbles as a spike of pain arcs through her brain. The man moves to support her. "Sister Mira, are you quite all right?" Elsewhere, in a cell of specially prepared runed inscribed adamantine, another woman, a twisted, filthy, reeking thing with lank hair and shocking blue eyes, high cheekbones, and a writhing lump of fused flesh in its spine, speaks with two voices. And a single word it yells in pain. But it is not pain of the flesh, but of the heart. It is the pain of loss. And she weeps. And she mourns. And she has long seen this day coming, but she was still unprepared for the wrenching of the soul with which she is bonded. The word she yells is repeated and muttered and whimpered and wailed over and over again. And she pulls at her hair, tearing out fistfuls of it with her frail withered hands. And she repeats the word again and again. "Sister." And on the floor of Inquisitor Varac's office, the blood spreads out from Antonia's form. And in the carnival of catastrophe, the last of the blood spilt there is soaked up by the dust and sand. And in Spayr Eldon, Dr. Pench passes out in an armchair. Siegfried and Trantia retire to the chambers, once more coming together in an embrace of passion and heat, and the fire in her eyes burns. And Gaius, newly rebuilt after his run-in with the Herald, embraces Lady Pagny in a similar but much less passionate and connected way, and Hannibal shares a bed with Seraph. And all of these things happen simultaneously. All of these actions, for which there will be no consequences. But here in the mansion, Canni, Karrell, Slab, Vasquez, Ferenus, Tichelos, Light, Eric, Big Bone Les, Missy and young Thomas all go to sleep. And there's a few others there too, down in the basement, secured in cells as they await something. Paolo Hampton, husband of Martiana, proprietors of the Freak Show, the ones responsible for the four-armed Xenos monstrosity in the carnival. Jen Ravicon, hulking mutant, found to be dealing with flesh-cutter gangs for body parts for unknown reasons. And of course, in a cell slightly bigger than it used to be, and decorated somehow to resemble a small office, is Interrogator Simeon Gladstock. Or at least something that was once Interrogator Simeon Gladstock, or thinks it's Interrogator Simeon Gladstock. It's never really been made quite clear. But they all sleep too. Ah, sleep. Those little slices of death. How I loathe them. attributed to the second millennia author known only as Poe. Canni. You stand at a fork on a road in a barren place. A land of broken, ruined buildings beneath a rolling, stormy sky. Behind you, there is a woman in a red dress with one mechanical, augmetic arm. She watches you in silence, her face impassive. And ahead of you, the fork in the road beckons. Down one path, the road is lined with skulls and is stained with dark blood. The tang of iron is heavy on the air, and the smell of it gives you strength. And down the other path, strange plants bloom. Writhing vines twist, and the smell of decay drifts to you. But somehow the smell is invigorating, and it makes you feel invincible. "Are you coming, Canni?" says a voice. No, not a voice, several voices, all at once, from each of the 3 paths. Down the left-hand path, dripping with blood, stands Seraph, your oldest friend, and she holds out a hand for you to take. She reaches down to you. You are so small compared to her, but already your arms are strong. She leads you through the carnival to Wiley McCann, who promises you that today you will start your training. Seraph takes a rat on a stick from a nearby vendor. She smiles as she hands it to you. Later, she nursed your wounds after the bigger boys caught you, beat you, called you fatty. They're just jealous, Canni, because they aren't as strong as you. But one day, when you're bigger and stronger and you're done with your training, you'll be bigger than them. You'll beat them all, Canni, she told you. And you did. You did eat them all. I mean, beat them all. Back on the path now, she stands there, hand towards you. "You coming or what?" she says. And you glance over your shoulder. The woman in the red dress, Venetta, stands there, watching. She's your girl, Canni, but is she really? She has been cold, aloof lately. After that night you shared, she has not really sought out your company, and does she really know you? Really know you? What you are, what you do? Seraph does, and she does not judge, for she has her own darkness. She is like you, a local girl. Down the right-hand path, among the fetid, stinking plant life, another figure stands. Another female figure, but unfamiliar. It's hard to make out her face. She's a big lady, whoever she is, and she calls out to you. "Canni," she says. "Come and get some," she says. She dances, she gyrates, and she wobbles. Rolls of flab, creating waves of rancid meat that shift and move hypnotically. She feasts upon a hunk of meat that can only be a human leg. And with each bite she grows bigger and bigger, and the stench of decay grows stronger and stronger. And the choice is clear, Canni. Strength, resilience, or the mundane. Which path do you take? 3, 3, 6, 3.
I shall turn and look over my shoulder towards Venetta, and I'll say to her, "I never stood a chance. We never stood a chance." And then immediately I'm going to turn and walk away from her and walk towards Seraph. "Not you, Fat Fanny. You agent of fucking..."
How do you know it's Fat Fanny?
I mean, call it a hunch.
Don't forget Slab's wearing a wig.
Yeah, it could just be
Slab.
Slab. Yeah.
Could be Slab.
As you walk down the path, taking the hand of the woman standing there waiting for you, you hear another voice, a fourth voice. Again a woman, but this voice is younger, more immature, childish almost. But more than any of these things, the voice sounds scared. Canni? Where you going, mate? Don't leave me alone, Canni! Don't leave me here, Canni! Canni! She screams, desperate. The terrified cry of someone who has been left alone before. And that's where we'll leave it.
Great game, Dave. That's a good one today.
Canni's on the path!
Yeah. There's a lot of good bits tonight, I thought.
Yeah. I tried to take a bit of a leaf out of your book with the whole entire session in one room. I was like, I'm going to try and push for that.
Well, once you finally herded the players into the room.
You will go to the room! You will! Get in that room and don't come out.
I'm going to stay here on the stairs. Fucking hell, Dave. What am I meant to do with that?
Just off for a wee, guys.
Okay.
Slab didn't need to be there.
But he should be there. It's not about needing, it's about should be there. Ooh, I really need a win.
He's got nothing he can contribute in that situation.
I mean, he has, in a way.